Okay, nothing happened in post. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. I am Pseudo. We have some amazing stuff to talk about with the balance patch, and boy, oh boy, what a balance patch it is. We have some amazing stuff functionality-wise coming down the pipeline, and by functionality-wise, I actually mean just about every class, including Bladesworn for once, is actually getting some changes. PvE Bladesworn, but it's a step. They actually acknowledge that it exists, and I genuinely am thankful and do mean it. And it, you know, whether they're PvE changes or not, it's going to be fun to see what it gets. We're going to be talking about it tonight, running around the Borderlands, giving away some gold, and let's make sure it looks good, sounds good, and let's jump into it. But I'm excited. Push was awesome. We have 1 week until the new release, and we even get 6 new relics that actually don't suck this time, all of which seem quite interesting with this new release that we're getting. So let me just check some stuff, stream stuff. Sorry, I know I gotta do this. Ooh, we got the good one. We got the fluffy boy. I've been troubleshooting a lot of stuff on my end. It might be a new router that we might have to get. It might be a bunch of stuff, but I did some tweaking, and we're gonna see if I can actually stream on what we're running on tonight. And if we can't, let me know if it doesn't look good or sound good, or, you know, I'm glitching out all over the place, or even if I'm not live right now, let me know and I will fix that. But welcome back. I am Pseudo. Lots of build crafting, theory crafting streams, and don't really have other stuff to plug. We have a trivia contest tonight, so it's going to be a little bit larger of a gold giveaway than we usually do, but exciting stuff in the world of Guild Wars 2, and I'm stoked. It seems like they're, you know, ArenaNet as well is ramping up communication again. Very exciting. I don't want to fight you. I want to just go over here and use food. This man wants to fight me, though. Maybe? Yeah, he does. All right, well, rude. Oh, this is like completely not the right build. We have issues, chat. This is so not the rifle build. I don't want to fight. I want nothing. I want nothing. I have no food. I have no right build. I have upload speed today, but that's no excuse. Thank you. Thank you for not... I almost said thank you. Why? I gotta check all my shit. God, so much immobilize. Angry at ArenaNet? Why? Joe, why are you mad? Let me be the aloe vera to your disappointment. Why are you mad? Don't be angry at ArenaNet. Just be disappointed. But why are you mad? I'm curious because I've seen both sides of this patch. I actually read through almost all of the patch feedback this time, and because I was really curious on how other classes felt about it as well. And if you believe not in good company, because, like, you know, attracting hate isn't the most positive thing in the world, but you have other colored people who are quite upset as well. Okay, we should be good. We actually have upload speed today, chat. It's exciting. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys thought. I was hoping for more warrior functionality changes when they said that. I will say that. I don't think that giving Bladesworn more PvE damage really lives up to my dream pie-in-the-sky expectations of Bladesworn, but I will say I'm happy they're doing anything for it. I've been talking with a lot of people in the comments, like different classes, different colors of base class. Sorry, it's 2025, you can't say that. But when I say that, I mean the different 9 base colors of different people who play different stuff in this game. And I've been getting some interesting feedback about, like, Rangers, Guardians, and stuff, because for once, Guardian actually didn't get very much for this patch. So what's been really interesting to me, if nothing else, is hearing from Guardians being like, hey, I'm angry about this, or I'm satisfied with what they've been doing. A little bit more than usual. Sorry, I should always fashion wars before the stream, but I can't help it. Right, eye patch. I think this is it. There we go. And the dyes are correct. Correct enough, I believe. But I am not the center of the universe, and I am just here to talk about cool builds, give away money, and chill with you guys for streams and such. So I'm always curious to see what other people are feeling and thinking about patches. I think that if you're a PvE player, especially a PvE LE player, this patch is unbelievable. Nerf Ellie and Warrior. This is almost universal buff patches, I think, till the end of this game, Joe, actually. Oh, because you're angry that you bet they were gonna nerf Alien Warrior. Well, I think that ANET learned that, for better or worse, people don't genuinely react to nerf patches very well, unfortunately. How am I not in fucking rifle right now, chat? Like, what is actually going on? For real. Alright, well, whatever. Gremlins, I guess. People don't react to nerf patches very well, even if it's good for the overall health of the game, so they tend to avoid those like the plague these days, even if Yumi and everybody else would probably benefit from one. But hey, you can make that 20 gold up tonight. You wanna fight? I've like kind of run around you this entire night. I'm actually ready now. I think there's two things that in the patch that I'm actually the most interested in, especially getting feedback from other people who play these classes. One is the Ellie weapon skill mimic, which is kind of insane to me because you can like double volcano or potentially triple volcano on Catalyst or meteor shower, as Cal said in the video. It's funny that he's still using meteor shower as the example when volcano on spear was put into the game to sort of supplant spear or supplant staff and fire as the offensive weapon. But you're going to be able to like triple cast meteor showers and stuff. And the one that really came to my mind was Obsidian Flesh. Obsidian Flesh is rough just in terms of counterplay and stuff. And I don't know how healthy for the game in PvP that'll be, but we'll find out, I suppose. Nice, immobilize myself. I'm getting some interesting lag, but hey, it's not as bad as it was. Group fight right off the bat, I'll take it. What are you doing? You going Willbender, bro? Swear I cast Balance Stance like 5 ever ago, but I guess not. How is this veteran scout, like, in space? Oh, they're going after our dudes. No dude going after. Sit down. Oh, he got the Aegis off. Nice. That was very fortunate timing on his part. Man is effing immortal. Everyone who thinks Warrior's bad. Staff Berserker, dude. It's so overtuned, it's crazy. Staff's insane. Like, everyone has some cracked stuff in World vs. World, especially these days. Staff is nutty in terms of what it gives you on Warrior, because it's the unnerfed version, largely, from launch. Like, some of the cooldowns are still pretty large, but it's pretty crazy. Yeah, he's got Shield Master going on. We ain't killing this guy unless somebody in my little group has big dam, and I don't think anyone here has big damage. We got some trivia, we got some gold giveaways, and we have some expansion prep, and maybe a little push. Maybe a little push. We'll see. He's running Torch. More power to him. I like that he's trying to make it work. Nice. Good dodge. Well done. Get my ally up. A very tanky. What's he got here? I'm curious about his build more than anything. I wish you could see. Oh, he's making Relic of Thorns work, chat. Oh my god. This guy has like the dream Condi build. Good for him. I love it. See if he can 1v5. Look at him. Look at him going. Oh, it's great. Spacing his buttons so well. Stance Warrior so OP. I play it too. It's crazy town. Look at him going. He's still alive. Still alive. He's still alive. I love it. Oh, he's living the dream, chat. He's got the Relic of Thorns Immortal Berserker build. Go watch this. Subscribe to this guy's channel. It's freaking fantastic, man. His build's great. Where'd he go? Zerg might have run him over finally. Oh, thank you as well. We had a couple subs actually and a couple followers over the break. I forgot to call everybody out. I usually do that at the beginning. Got them eventually. Imperium Basis, great name. Fun in the Zone, and we had a couple subs. Thank you to Tizzy, as well as our other sub that is scrolled off my page. Appreciate it. And don't worry, we will have that Bloodborne fashion contest coming up. Probably drop some information about that with the new release, so probably 1 week after the, or a little bit less after the new release. And I will be giving away one of the new legendary spears, because I hate money. Oh, man. I get into some PvP. I kind of want to start playing unranked again, just get myself in the mindset of PvP. I have a notepad, guys, with all the stuff I want to build after this patch. I wish it could come out tomorrow, like, legitimately. Selly Hollow, like, so much stuff. Selly Hollow, Power Druid, like 4 different kinds of warrior. Is this going to be a duel, or is this going to be like a Pseudo gets bullied by Willbenders? It's going to be a Pseudo gets bullied by Willbenders, I know it. And some interesting lag. I might switch over to the wired connection here, see how we're doing. So this is kind of a test of me tweaking my settings in general. Rude. 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 Don't like it. This is Dueling Island. Supposed to have duels on this island. Not whatever the fuck that was. Rude. Willbender still wants to fight. Good stuff. Props to him. I'm really interested, although they talked a lot about balance. They talked a lot about like different classes. Very interesting Spectre changes as well as Dark Aura stuff. The thing I'm most interested for the patch is the numbers on the relics that they previewed, because those seemed super interesting, especially the all boons relic and the whenever you gain might, you gain another stack of might relic, which is kind of poisonous for the game, but hey, it's really good for warriors, so we'll see. Power Zerker again by nerfing Throw Axe. What would you do to decapitate vids? I think the 100 blades thing is an inside joke because they would have to do all the animations and they're just never going to do that, but or an inside-outside joke. I don't know. I think we'll see how it plays. I'm not opposed to the axe change. I think they want axe to be good. I thought the 1 second extra of Fury was kind of ancillary and funny. Like, that's not going to do anything, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how much axe actually gets, like, nerfed or if that matters. Like, Captain Crapface brought up a really good point, and, you know, it only does that much damage when they're below a certain health threshold. So if you're below, like, 25 or 50%, like, the difference between 8k and 6k is functionally 0. Like, because it just kills you. You know, it's like, if you're hitting a thief or a ranger with a throw axe and they're below half health, which is when it does that bonus damage, like, it doesn't matter. So maybe that is an inside joke. I'm not really sure. Honestly, the biggest benefits to Warrior in this patch are probably the new relics. Disparity, because a lot of them actually seem like they would work really well with different warrior builds. I already have a notepad of like stuff I'm going to try. I'll try to get those up on like so people have the numbers and stuff to play around in World vs. World, at least on the channel, and I usually throw them on Reddit. When the patch drops, it'll have like a spoiler tag and stuff because of so same range as Eviscerate, smaller, what did you say? Smaller crit chance on Decap. The problem with Decapitate is it's a PvE thing. It resets its own cooldown of just like mashing F1, which I actually hate, but there is some cool stuff that you can do with it in World vs. World. Honestly, I would give it just like the cone a little bit more range in World vs. World, and I would make it cripple for 1 second. Right, but you're still... No. I mean, wait till we have it to like see on that, right? If it's too much of a nerf, they'll probably bring it down or like give us something next patch. I do think that the warrior, my biggest complaint about like if we're going warrior specific bias crap, as a warrior enthusiast, I wouldn't say main, but enthusiast, since that's what I seem to be known as these days. My biggest complaint is like most classes, and Guardian didn't really get any of this either, so I can't like complain with a straight face because Guardian always gets all the toys. Warrior didn't really seem to get any functionality changes when they were like, hey, this is the functionality change patch. So I don't know, Bladesworn rework incoming copium, we'll see. But like, I don't know, we'll see, I don't think the Decapitate axe change thing is that bad. I'd also really like their reasoning on like why they keep ancillarily buffing the sustain on Zerker. Like, I don't think that Zerker's really suffering from like self-sustain at this point, especially when like 90% of the time when you're playing Berserker you're regenning health as long as you're hitting something, but we'll see. Like you saw there, it's gonna be interesting. You're not wrong. Some players have prot, some players have 11k HP, so like classes will escape more. I'm happy the Axe F1 doesn't suck, but they specifically said, like, Spellbreaker, like Axe Spellbreaker, and I'm really skeptical on any Spellbreaker build that exists in 2025 that's going to run main hand Axe, but, like, I don't know, man. I'd still even take Greatsword on Spellbreaker over main hand Axe just for the Fury duration, and Greatsword sucks in PvP. Yeah, but they also, like, they did say that with 100 Blades, and it does feel bad when they make that joke. But I honestly think, like, here's my tinfoil hat copium for that. And I will call it out when they do baffling things. Like, all the patches not flawless, they've gotten some good feedback already, different classes. Like, the thing with Cal saying 100 Blades still roots you, and he did say maybe one day it won't, and has in the past. I don't think it's his decision. Right? It's like the rush change. I don't think that 100 Blades rooting you or not rooting, like this skill, would be a nightmare to reanimate for all the classes. So, and they do that for other classes, but if you just unroot it, it's going to look stupid. It's not really an excuse, but I really don't think that it's his fault or his decision about unrooting it. I think that, like, if anything, that would be him saying that to maybe gauge interest or being like, hey, put pressure on the people who actually, you know, the team that makes those changes. I could be wrong. He could be keeping, you know, Warrior under his boot heel the entire time, and we could be paying for the sins of Warrior being, you know, the greatest thing and the only thing that was really viable in dungeons for a really long time. That's entirely possible. I've seen that on the forums a lot, but we will see. Overall, I really like this patch, and I think it's really fun. And, like, I'm going to have a blast, like, not just with Warrior stuff. I already have, like, a Berserker build I want to try, like, 3 Bladesworn builds I want to try, depending on, like, what it happens to PvP and Artillery Slash. Like, even small changes like that. Overcharge cartridges, I don't think it'll be good, but it'll be fun. I have so many builds I already want to try. Like, the Connie Mirage again, now that staff's not going to be garbage, hopefully. So excited for that. Yeah. I'm super stoked. I mean, it will and it won't, Dream, because Connie Mirage is actually also losing a key trait for it. Like, the actual Mirage trait that makes it, enhances your ambushes is pretty good on Mirage. I forget what it's called because I'm no longer a Mirage main. Staff is really only getting utility added to it, and utility or staff was already staff was already a utility weapon, so it's just getting more utility. They're not really giving it more damage, and that's like the extent of Mirage. Also, I want to point this out. People miss this. One of Mirage's most toxic traits and strongest traits, what is it? Evasive Mirror, which has a 10-second cooldown. It used to have a 0-second cooldown, by the way, or something really dumb. When you evade an attack, you reflect for 2 seconds. That's getting yoked. That's like if the trait that extended your stances on Warrior got yoked. That trait is fucking nuts for Mesmers. Like, Barry runs it all the time when I fight him, and it lets you, like, think about it. It gives you 1 out of 5, like 20% uptime on Reflect. And it punishes your opponent for hitting you while you're evading. So that's one of their strongest traits. And yeah, Connie Mirage is getting buffed, but as somebody who has run that trait for this amount of time, I can tell you that trait is super effing strong. So we'll see, right? I didn't switch to rifle. Yeah, I agree. They should do something to 100 Blades at some point, and it shouldn't just be damage buffs. I would be in favor of that. I want Greatsword back as much as the next guy. I mean, I run it as my stacking weapon already, right? So, this guy really wants to fight. I don't want to fight you when I'm in a bad weapon, dog. Run to space. Alright, am I out of combat yet? Thank Christ. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Gotta be the storm that is approaching. Can't let Virgil down. I'm really obviously curious about what they're doing with the Bladesworn stuff. Because they only had PvE numbers and stuff on that. So, like, what's happening to artillery slash in PvP? Is it going to still have 2 charges? Are the charges going to daze? Like, what's going on? Stuff like that. Like, what's the numbers on overcharge cartridges now and supercharged cartridges? I'm so excited for that, to find out. Stuff like that. Very, 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 very stoked for that nonsense. Honestly, like, if they're gonna reroute... here's the thing with 100 Blades. How do you differentiate it from the auto attack? Because technically, auto attacking does more damage because you apply vulnerability with the auto attack strikes, like the first 2 auto attack strikes. I really think that Greatsword needs a rework. I just don't know if it's in their development budget, right? Let's get some entries in. You guys showed up early. You're here for the stream. Exclamation point, June 24 or 24th in chat for the day of the balance patch. You have to be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube. That'll be for 25 gold, and then we will do trivia in a bit. Our trivia question is interesting, I think, but I always think that because I'm biased. So, but get those entries in, just like Jay and Kid did, and we will draw that in about 15 minutes or so. And don't worry, if you're followed or not followed yet, you have about 2 minute downtime. Daze followed by 100 Blades. I don't think it should daze. If anything, I think it should cripple or maybe immobilize on the first hit of 100 Blades, but I think that might be too good. Like, here's the thing with 100 Blades. It has an 8-second cooldown, and with the Greatsword trait, which sucks these days, it has less. The purpose of 100 Blades is to synergize with Celerity Sigils, or what's the sigil or the trait called? Aggressive Onslaught, right? You're supposed to Bulls Charge somebody and 100 Blades them, and it looks really cool, and the animations are really good and stuff. So I think that if you're going to do something like that... dude, you just bowed. Alright, well, fine. Bye. You need a way to differentiate it from just using the auto attack, right? So let's like take 8 seconds and rework 100 Blades. Like, what's the purpose of the skill? To do damage. It should be a follow-up to all the other crap on the kit, right? Because it's your damage. It's your cash out, right? So longer cooldown, 100 Blades does more damage, cripples on the first hit, and all of your auto attacks, instead of only the first 2 on Greatsword, apply vulnerability now. Because what's really weird to me about Greatsword is the auto attack, most notably, the auto attack and the 4 are super effing outdated. The 3 is actually still a really good button, and the 5 is an okay button since they fixed the pathing. The problem is the auto attack 100 blades, if it is a problem, and the 4. They don't really have an identity. So I would have the auto attacks apply more vulnerability, or give you might, or both. Or maybe like the last hit of the auto chain gives you quickness or something like that, like 2 seconds or 1 second of quickness. And the 4 needs to do something. Like, I have no idea what the original purpose of the 4 was. I think just ranged poke, if I had to guess. But that's just me guessing. Like, I'd love to see their design documents for individual classes, but I think that's too much behind the curtain and we're never going to get that. Also, I didn't know Muckluck, shout out to him, especially for his weekend stream where he's been streaming for like 2 years, or like 7 years or something. Shout out to him. I didn't know he made the arrow cart build, so credit to him. That's a really cool ranger build with quick draw and stuff. That one's really cool. Dude, I was going to let you live. Alright, I guess I'm not going to let you live. Life presents us with challenges, I suppose. Get those entries in, guys. I'll just kill your pet that's rezzing you. It's fine. And now you get to die a slow ranger death. Matter of fact, I'm even going to get out of combat and switch to my stacking weapon. Maybe not. I hope you're having fun, guy. Anyone's more than welcome to join me. I didn't know the pet just goes back to rezzing him. That's ridiculous. Alright, fine. I'll blow a cooldown. Yeah, I'm not opposed. Like, Kel, I think this got a lot of flack. Kel said there's room for some jank on Warrior, like in the game. And what he meant was, with the axe fix, there's room for some jank on Warrior. And I do sort of agree. Like, Warrior, part of the reason its skills feel weighty in a 12-year-old game, like a good... I don't have a perfect analog for this, but if you've played the new God of War games, like the axe throws feel impactful. They feel weighty, and a lot of that has to do with just a little bit of screen judder and the thunk sound when Kratos recalls his ice axe. They feel good, they feel weighty, especially in the second game. Really just fun to use skills. And that's something that sets Warrior apart. Like, it feels like a Warrior. In a game surrounded by magic wizards and teleporting lunatics. Like, it still feels like a Warrior. And I don't want it to lose that feel, but I don't want it to lose that feel if it means I can't use the skill or play the class, right? It's exactly the Bladesworn problem, where you have these skills that, like, it's okay for Dragon Trigger to feel a little jank. It's not okay for it to miss literally 30% of the time you use it, right? So... like, there's, you know, a fine line. And a lot of it could be apathy. Again, it could be coping. They could just hate Warrior. I'm not Cal, I don't know. But... oh, Bladesworn's not. Bladesworn, if you look at it from a design perspective, even if we fixed all the bugs tomorrow, Disparity, Bladesworn is not a Warrior class. It's completely not, and that's part of the reason I love it. Bladesworn, like, if you look at its resource management, if you look at everything else, it's... I mean, whether or not the design is good is a different topic of whether or not it's a Warrior class, but, like, it's not a Warrior class. It doesn't use Adrenaline. Basically, you know, they say, it says on it, like, Adrenaline is converted to flow 100%. It's not on a lot of stuff, because all their tooltips are manual. Bladesworn is much closer to something like Revenant. No, Raffle, so part of the, like, Warrior's not in a bad spot. Bladesworn's not even in a bad spot. We're just talking about design. Like, that's the purpose of this channel. We have design discussions. We talk about, like, get different perspectives. Like, I'm not right about everything. You're not right about everything. Warrior's very oppressive, especially Spellbreaker. Like, it's very oppressive. It's like reverse Hollowsmith Pirate Queen, yeah. I mean, Warrior in general has balance that's very similar to Engineer. That's why you see them doing stuff like quickness and CC on Disable. I was actually sort of going through my Engineer build today, and I was like, okay, is quickness, even if they gave like literally Stalwart Strength and Aggressive Onslaught, like if they just copied the durations of those traits for Engineer, would it be that much more overpowered than Warrior? And it would be better, but like Engineer has some wicked trade-offs as well, like the one weapon thing, so I don't think so. Warrior in general, especially like Spellbreaker and Berserker and Core Warrior, not in a bad spot. This thing, Gunsaber thing, jank as fuck, because it never got finished. But again, go watch any of my like Bladesworn specific videos for that. But if you just look at its design, like, what does Revenant have when it gets into combat? Oh, it starts building up a resource. What does Bladesworn have into combat when it gets into combat? Oh, it starts building up a resource. Do you have to hit anything for that resource? No. Do you build that resource from like other tools and tactics? Yes. What do you use that resource predominantly for on Revenant? Bursting. Okay, so Bladesworn in specifically like is much closer to Revenant in how it's built and plays and is balanced and stuff. But Bladesworn itself, it doesn't have the fast hands thing where you can have 4 on swap sigils. It basically, unless you're me and you're a lunatic, doesn't run discipline. It wasn't geared around that. So it doesn't run leg specialist, which is the other thing that makes Warrior feel like Warrior basically on every build. Like, what's left? Okay, well, it hits hard, sort of. And it has some unblockable stuff, sort of. Not a bad thing, but again, it needs to be finished. It's not a matter of, is Warrior in a bad spot? We're just like talking about what works with what, essentially. Oh yeah, and it's important to realize or remember, Dream, there's a difference between, like, not only is there a difference between something being good, being balanced, and being fun, there's a difference between power creep and feature creep. A really good example of this, obviously, is Spectre getting Shroud without a trade-off, or classes that just get more buttons essentially added to them, like Willbender, where the trade-off used to be you couldn't layer your virtues or have all the passives at the same time. You had to pick one, but now you just get all the passives at the same time, in addition to just having those buttons essentially be better versions of Core Guardian. Stuff like that. Ranger getting more stealth than it used to have access to, so it plays more like a thief, stuff like that. Even different classes getting conditions they didn't used to have access to. This happened a lot in Heart of Thorns, where Chill was almost an exclusively elementalist thing, and then you had things like Revenant and Necromancer, especially with Reaper, have specializations almost entirely, not, I guess in the case with Reaper, built around Chill and its application and stuff like that. So the game has gotten feature crept to shit, right? Like, it's not just power creep. It's not just that people do more damage or don't die, like that Berserker, or like die in one hit, or like, you know, Guardian Spear or Mesmer Spear erases kids from existence. It's that everything kinda, it's like if they gave, you know, stealth to Warrior tomorrow, then they have to balance all of the other crap, right, on it, and probably take away some stuff. So it's just important to give context to, like, you know, what you play and what you play against and whatnot. And I'm hopeful. I love the overcharge cartridges change for PvE. I'm glad that, you know, the little I've talked to my PvE Bladesworn friends, all 2 of them, that remain in this game, they're not in love with the changes because, like, it still doesn't fix the problem with Bladesworn in any game mode, which is you have to sacrifice your entire freaking utility bar, basically, unless you specifically build for it in order to do anything. Like, you basically need Flow Stabilizer on your bar, which is 1 less utility skill, to play the class in any game mode, which is stupid. So maybe in terms of talking about, like, comparing it to Revenant design, maybe it doesn't generate enough flow base, but who knows? Maybe they'll carry over those PvE flow buffs to PvP, and then we'll get some interesting utilities instead. Hey, Trevor, what's up? Something like that. I'm glad you can catch a stream. Welcome, dude. I'm thinking of streaming a little bit earlier on the weekends for the couple, like, every other weekend if I can do it. Supposed to have an F2 that never happened. I don't know anything about that. If Core Warrior was supposed to have an F2, that's really interesting to me. I wonder what it would do. Like, maybe it would be the burst skill for your backhand weapon. That would be amazing. Just giving... giving warrior more options in general doesn't really, like, because you can always tweak the numbers, right? It's like when ranger and firebrand got more buttons comparatively to everything else. Yeah, that does in general make things more stronger, but if core warrior had an F2 that was like the back, you know, if you had two one-handed weapons or a two-handed weapon, if it was relative to that, that'd be really interesting. Especially if you had to then manage your adrenaline on which burst skill to use, essentially. I have heard of ESO's upcoming subclasses. Again, exclamation point June 24th in chat. Sorry I didn't shout that out. You got like, I don't know, 7 minutes, let's say. First giveaway. That would be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube. But thank you, guys. Mixing trait lines from different classes. I really hope they never do that in Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2, if they... JN Kid, if they do it in Guild Wars 2, especially with specializations, this is like Silhouette is hard in the camp that he thinks that they're going to do a shared utility thing between specializations. I really don't want them to do that because Warrior will get really hard shafted again, because the specializations on Warrior have some of the worst utility skills, and also they would have to adapt things like rage skills to Bladesworn and stuff like that. I really hope they don't do that for the new expansion. I'm hard in the camp of I think that they're going to do a specialization without a weapon tied to it for the new expansion. We'll see. I really hope they don't just do a new weapon, but that would be the easiest. I kind of just hope they do nothing. The thing with shared trait lines, whether it's core trait lines or trait lines between classes or trait lines between specializations in this game, is exactly what we've been talking about. This game has been power crept and feature crept to shit. So the only way that would work is if they also literally cut the numbers on everything in the game in half. They would have to nerf everything else in the game in order for the versatility of that, either being able to equip ranger skills as a warrior or Bladesworn skills as a spellbreaker or something like that. It would, or more realistically, like Chronomancer skills or Mirage skills as a Chronomancer or something like that. Like, that'd be terrifying. The game would probably be very customizable, but wouldn't be very fun to play because you would always feel... It would be the Celestial stats problem of, like, you wouldn't really... It would actually slow the game down because without doing that, everyone would just feel like gods. So, Warrior included. Like, everything would feel like gods and never die, and there would be no balance. The game's not built around that. It's not designed about that. It would be interesting for a week, but it's not feasible. At least for PvP. Maybe for PvE. Who knows? Main thing I hear about Bladesworn is how clunky it feels and bad to use. No, it feels clunky and bad to use. Burnt fish. I love it. I love it conceptually. Give it a shot. I can give you tips on how to make it not feel as clunky and bad to use. I can give you a really good example here. But yeah, play what you like. Play what you're enjoying. Thank you. My XPadder setup is downloadable from the description. Play what you're enjoying. You know, never give up. So check this out, right? Like, this is a really good example of, and this will scare off new Bladesworn, like baby Bladesworn players, but check this out, right? I have two targets. How you aim Dragon Trigger is you go into Dragon Trigger, and then if I move, it cancels it, but I can still spin my camera, right? And I can aim at different ones by, like, tabbing between them. They're layered, so you can't see it. If I want a Dragon Trigger over there, I have to toggle on Action Camera, deselect them, and then toggle off Action Camera. I have a macro for that. That's the only macro I play with, because otherwise this class is fucking impossible to play with, which is Escape, Action Camera, toggle on, Escape. Like, you see, whenever I go into Dragon Trigger and this dot appears in the middle of my screen, that's me toggling on an Action Camera because I play on a controller, and otherwise, you can't aim this shit. But, again, the concept is there. Bladesworn is dope. I hope it gets completely reworked one day, but I understand that words are easy and work's hard. And you can make it work with different stuff. Oh, yeah, so... Smooth Pineapple, Smooth... it's a good name. Smooth Pineapple brings up a really good point. I agree with you 100%. I hate the shared weapons thing. I said it at the time. I hated the shared weapons thing. I will say I am biased because I played Warrior at the time, and I also have played Mesmer, and historically both have had really good weapons, access to really good weapon combinations, even when Soto came out. The one exception I will give, and other people pointed this out to me, and again, this is a really good example of I am not the main character of existence, is Engie and Ellie. At the time Soto came out, the shared weapons thing was huge for them. And I really do like that, for especially in terms of engineer and what it opened up to them. So yeah, Warrior got shafted. Yeah, the burst skills we got on like Dagger sucked for like Berserker and stuff, but it is what it is. I more think that that was a feature they just had ready to ship. I don't think that was a feature they wanted to do on Soto release. I think their focus for Soto was this thing, which on balance, I think added infinitely more value to the game. I personally, with the amount of time and money I put into this game, Suncast Fallacy or not, I would have paid $25 just for them to rework this, the daily system, and I think that was worth it for the longevity of the game, because I work in marketing and I know what that did for their game. Well, Gremini, as the main character of Resistance, how do you feel about the Mirage changes? Also, we got a drawing to do, so I'll give Lil Yachtberry a chance to enter our giveaway. If exclamation point June 24th in chat, I'll extend this by about 5 minutes. And if you'd like to enter that. If you like Spellbreaker, I will say you will not like Bladesworn. Probably, because I don't like Spellbreaker as a warrior enthusiast. It's the one that I really never enjoyed. But I recognize that it's the best designed, it's the simplest, and it's probably going to be the best until I die on warrior. I don't think it's bad. I just don't personally jive with it. It's like how I really like the idea of Chronomancer. I think is one of the most incredible designed and simplest and first classes they ever put in the game. Is it ever going to be my thing? No, because it's just, I tried it, I don't like it. I hated the idea of Mirage when I first saw it. I was like, that's overpowered as shit. And I tried it, and then this happened for 6 years, chat. I love it. I love Mirage. Yeah, tell them, Gremini, tell them on the forums. I agree with you, they should roll that in. They should roll the cool extra axe that spawns when you use X skills to it. Not just as extra Condi damage, even though that would literally be a buff to it. I agree with you. Yeah, I played, and not that I listened to, I'm cooler than you, chat, but I listen to bands that personally don't exist yet. It's sarcasm, just a little bit. But I played Berserker back when it sucked. I bring up this every time someone's like, hey, Bladesworn's kind of jank and bad. Yeah, Bladesworn's kind of jank and bad. You know what was worse, chat, for 4 years that was jank and worse than Bladesworn has ever been? Berserker. It lost 300 toughness in a world where everything else was losing its trade-offs when it went into its super form, aka Berserk mode, and you also didn't have a burst skill outside of Berserk mode. You only could go into Berserk mode and then use your Primal Burst, and also, you didn't get full adrenaline when you went into your Berserk mode. You had to build it up again. It was fucking awful! Oh my god. Okay, yeah, Condi Berserker was okay because Skull Grinder's in the game, right? But it is what it is. Condi Berserker has always been okay because Skull Grinder's been in the game. You know what change I'm actually legitimately extremely excited that I don't think maybe people don't care about or I'm just wrong? The body blow change. We'll see what the numbers are on it, but I've wanted body blow, the do weakness and 1 stack of bleeding for like 13 seconds on CC, on Warrior, to do vulnerability for like the past 3 years. Yeah, literally Core Warrior was better than Berserker at the time. And I'm really glad they're changing body blow. I hope it's enough vulnerability. Most notably, I hope the vulnerability's long enough. The only gripe I kind of have with changing body blow is I don't want strength to just be like a better version of arms. Because Engie and Warrior especially are getting into this point where like their offensive trait lines are getting like, I mean, Warrior already kind of had this, but they're getting like homogenized into other trait lines. Thank you, Arta, for the follow. Appreciate it. Where like Firearms is getting stab and quickness on CC, and like Strength is getting vulnerability, which I don't hate in 2025 because again, power creep, but like, we'll see. I don't really know. You know, it took 3 years, 4 years, but Berserker's good again. Berserker, you might even say, is the best warrior specialization right now because of what it can pull off with like Relic of Akeem, for better or worse, in PvP. So, you know, Bladesworn will get there. It's just going to take them time. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'm wrong. I still enjoy it. I don't play video games and hate stream for you guys. Speaking of which, let's give away our first little 25 gold here, chat. So many people following. All right, I'll give you guys like 3 more minutes. Every time someone follows, I'll extend the counter for like 3 minutes because I know there's a 2-minute timeout thing on Twitch. So exclamation point June 24th if you'd like to enter our first giveaway. Be giving away at least 100 gold tonight, maybe more. Because I actually managed to think of a trivia question and it is relevant to the patch. Also, let me know if you can hear when my AC kicks on. I've been playing around with my sound settings and hopefully it should sound a little bit better for you guys as well. Guys and girls. And everybody else. I am really scared of the NG changes. However, I understand them. I think they're all pretty good, except for, like, we'll see the numbers on the quickness and stability thing. Especially for World versus World. In PvP, fine, whatever. Give them warrior numbers. But, like, if the numbers are, like, 3 seconds of quickness and stab in World versus World base, like, we're in a universe where boon duration exists, aka World versus World roaming, like, that's gonna be a lot. We'll see. Maybe, like I said, it's just, wow, free catapults. Maybe it's just NG's time to be overpowered. Like, don't pretend your class hasn't had their time. It's happened. Is my other thought, Benji. So the thing with Hollow, I was watching... What's his name? Boys? No. I can't... The one guy that streams Hollowsmith occasionally. Hollowsmith has been bad, right, chat? Like, Mechanist doesn't even come into the conversation, but, like, Hollowsmith is, compared to Scrapper, and even Core NG, is kind of bad, and has been for a really long time. It has good tools. There are ways to make it not suck, just like something like Bladesworn, like, completely. But in comparison to lots of the other specs, Hollowsmith's been bad. So I'm really happy to actually see them do, what's it called? Adding the evade. Sorry, this boss is a nightmare to fight and talk. I'm happy to see that they are adding the evade to Hollow 5, because yes, it's a really high cost button, but the thing with Hollow Form is it's kind of like Bladesworn stance, where it's not really a moment of power. You basically just become a giant target whenever you use it, because you have no defensive skills. So we'll see. I mean, Firearms is not used in PvP because it doesn't have stab, because it doesn't have any defensive tools. It has all offense, right? It's not all Condi damage. Firearms actually has more power damage than Condi damage. It has some Condi tools, and you use it for Condi builds in PvE, but it's mostly just offense. But with something like stab and quickness on CC, I guarantee you're going to see a lot more firearms, predominantly Hollowsmiths and Scrappers, because they have a lot of... I mean, those are the only 2 types of NG, right? But the thing with firearms is, whether it's tools or alchemy, your other trait line is going to be really good defensively, and you're going to be able to pull off some insane crap. Stability is just the best PvP boon, period. So whenever they add it anywhere, it's going to do huge things for the class. And you're going to see a lot more people than used to running that. It's like how, really good example and good parallel, since we've been talking about it, is, thank you, Ghost Kobold. Warrior is balanced very similarly to NG, right? If you look at it, a lot of the traits are the same, a lot of the skills are relatively the same, where a lot of the powers in... Oh my god, what tier is this? A lot of the power is in the weapon skills and whatnot. Oh fuck, don't reset again. Okay. I'm gonna have to, like, turn my brain on for this chat. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to you guys and solo this tower. A lot of the power is in the weapon skills because NG doesn't get another weapon, whether it's kits or not. So, as a result of that, a lot of the trait lines end up being very similar. And a lot of the balance ends up being very similar, where Firearms has been kind of like Arms for a really long time, where it's kind of been a joke for PvP, where it doesn't do anything but offense. And it does offense in this really weird, awkward way, where it really only gives you crit chance or crit damage, and that's not super useful. It's not like Strength, where it, like, gives you offense and some cooldown reduction, or Strength and some resistance. But once they added, like, resistance to the Strength line, oh my god. I give up. Fuck this tower. once they added something like strength of the resistance to the strength line, and what's the other one? Quickness to strength, stab to defense is the one I'm trying to think of and can't. Those become a lot more usable. Coming to you on my Condi. Oh, good. Condi Mirage will definitely help. Thank you so much, Dream. It'll help with this boss. No, I'm kidding. This boss that transfers Condis to you. Hey, Emperor. What's up? You're just in time to enter our first giveaway because this boss is taking me a flipping year to solo. Exclamation point June 24, the day of the balance patch. In chat if you'd like to enter. I had to switch to a build that's a meat wall. I am really happy as well. I know a lot of people use it and because it's overpowered. I am ecstatic to see Unshakable Mountain die on Bladesworn. I've been wanting that to go away forever. Thoughts regarding the patch? I like it. I like it on balance. I even like it for Warrior. I'm, coping that one day we'll get interesting things on Warrior, because I really don't see many functionality changes for Warrior, even though this is supposedly, in quotes, the functionality patch. But Guardian, I think, got way more shafted, and they at least mentioned my class this time, so I'm stoked. I'm totally stoked. Thank you for the resub, by the way. You get double entries for that. And again, stay glued to the little post section of YouTube when we're going to do our Bloodborne fashion contest, because I'm giving away way too much fucking money for that. I did the math, and I'm giving away like twice what I've made on Twitch. But whatever, I love you guys. Be giving away the legendary spear that I can't pronounce. Second place will probably be 500 gold and 50 mystic coins. Third place will be 200 mystic coins. And then I'm thinking that everybody who enters will just get like 5 mystic coins flat. I mean, the warrior like what do you want for warrior changes, right? Like that's my counter argument is we're not getting nothing. Bladesworn's at least interesting in getting mentioned. Like I have seen that a lot, but like you want it to be Guardian, then just go play Guardian. I don't like we'll see how it rolls, right? Like I would take, as a warrior player, I would take the warrior changes personally, and again, biased Bladesworn player, but like I would take, even though they're PvE changes, I would take the warrior changes over the Guardian changes. The Guardian changes are good, but they're boring. We're at least getting like kind of semi-interesting stuff for once. I do think it's really funny that they seem to have snuck a lot of really heavy nerfs, like the Mirage Mantle or Mirage Mirror nerf in, without people really reacting to those. Like there's some heavy nerfs to classes that aren't warrior in this patch. I honestly like here's let's think about this. Who are the biggest winners of this patch? NG followed by Thief, I think. Thief getting its initiative back on Spectre is magical space changes. As far as I expected them to give Spectre like one more initiative, not all of it. Spectre's gonna be wild in PvP to fight, believe me. What made Unshakable Mountain bad previously? I don't know much about Bladesworn. It wasn't bad. Unshakable Mountain is one of the most broken traits in the game. Let me demonstrate. I actually don't know if I have any builds that run it because I'm not a piece of shit. Hang on. So, yeah, I don't. I changed all of them off. So, Unshakable Mountain, what it does is when you use the last charge of your... And if you use it, I'm joking. Play how you want. Don't let me tell you how to play. When you use the last charge of an ammo skill like this and how it says 0 now, you would get 800 to 1,000 barrier, Trevor. And because you can just spam all of your ammunition skills, including your pistol skills, including shouts if you're running them, including all of your gunscaper skills, you just have infinite barrier on Bladesworn. So guess where their power budget is? That one trait that's not even a Grandmaster. I hate that trait. I want it gone. I'm so glad they're changing it. Now, instead, when you go into Dragon Trigger, you're going to convert flow into barrier, which doesn't help, we'll see the numbers. Like, it's better. There's some interesting stuff you can do with it. Again, the biggest complaint I have about a lot of the warrior changes is they didn't really give us numbers. Like, granted, there's a lot of other things that have infinite barrier in the game as well, so again, it's not just warrior. Like, Blood Bank on Necro needs to be yoked from space. Like, Blood Bank is so super stupid. Not even conceptually, just the numbers on it are, like, way too high. But, like, Necromancer has this trait, if you didn't, sorry, I forget everyone doesn't know all the traits. My bad. Legitimately, I'm sorry. Blood Bank is this trait on Necromancer that used to, whenever they would heal over their maximum health, like if you were at max health and you healed, you would build up barrier. Now, whenever they heal, period, they build up barrier, which makes it really hard to actually eat through their health, especially if the Necromancer also has a fucking shroud. So Blood Bank in general, like, it is really unhealthy for the game, in my opinion, but we'll see. Everyone's already upset enough about transfusion. There's unhealthy things on every class. Like, stances on warrior need to be yoked from space, but that's where all of its power budget is, but that's like how it's designed and balanced, so we'll see. I don't know. I'm just glad that they're opening up some possibility for Bladesworn in the future, hopefully for power budget. Excuse me. We need to do a giveaway, chat. Oh my god. Hopefully everyone got their entries in. Subs to the channel, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, do get double entries for this. But I gotta make sure my bot grabbed everybody. Don't worry, we'll do lots of more of these. Lots of more of these because I can talk. Throughout the day. I got backed up to my bench record yesterday, so I don't really care. Thank you. I'll just count that. I'll enter it manually. Thank you. And get double entries for this. Alright, let me click the button. Smooth Pineapple has one. Great name. Don't know why you're smoothing your pineapples, but that's just solid name. Character name or an account name. Don't worry, guys. There'll be plenty more. I do these every Monday if you're new here. I usually stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube and Twitch at 9 Eastern, so that's like reset +1, I think, now. And I do giveaways every Monday because I have way too much fucking money in this game, and I would rather help other people. We're also doing a big Bloodborne fashion contest, so if you don't already have the like little annoying alerts thing on YouTube, just turn it on for posts, because I'll be like posting when we're doing that. But it'll be sometime, and don't worry, I'll definitely be shouting this out as well. You'll get more information next week when we get the release on that. Character name, you can either put a character name or an account name that I can mail in chat, or you can whisper Salem, S-A-L-E-M, all one word. Whatever you're comfortable with. But my chat is extremely chill. So here, chat, here's an example of like why I'm not doing the YouTuber thing, even though I'm in marketing for, and thank you, Dream, for that help with the tower. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Here's an example of why I'm not doing the YouTuber, like sub and like and follow, and here's a bunch of clickbait. I wanted to build a small community of Guild Wars 2 people who liked build crafting, who liked talking about things, and who just were chill and liked listening to rock music and, you know, like this sort of chill, smaller community, right? One of the reasons I wanted to do that is exemplified by this. I put up a poll on whether or not people were satisfied with the patch. And people love, in general, to complain about stuff. People just love to yap. They love to complain. I was really scared of just, like... I was gonna go to the poll and be like, oh, it's gonna be 50-50, or people are gonna be mad. Like, if I get, like, a maybe a 52% in favor, that's good. People are actually really in favor of this patch over on our channel. And that's amazing. Not saying, like, you know, you have to be in favor of everything ArenaNet does, because I will 100% call them out when they do baffling nonsense, which they do all the time. But, like, in general, people seem pretty positive. And it's just refreshing for once, you know? It's like, oh, dude, I have a dope community that isn't just, like, bitching about everything. Like, talking to each other about builds in the comments and stuff. And, like, someone will be like, ah, Ranger's overpowered. And then someone else will be like, nah, I play Ranger. It's got a lot of these. Oh, my God. Dream, we're gonna die? Yeah. They're still behind us. We're so dead. I'm in a waypoint. F this, dog. Oh, where's our... We're red. No, I'm totally psyched. I'm gonna be doing lots more theory crafting stuff. Like I said, I am the most excited, legitimately, for the relic changes. I mean, I'm excited that my specialization's getting anything at all, even though they're all blatantly PvE changes, right? But, like, all of the relics, even the ridiculous volatility one, look really interesting to me. They debuted all the new relics. Or sorry, not relic changes. They debuted the 6 new relics. And the 6 new relics all legitimately are very interesting to me. I really hope the on interrupt... So here's an example of what, like, when I'll call up Arena for doing baffling nonsense chat. One of the stated goals for this patch was, like, we want to... They called a lot of Power Mirage in this patch. Power Mirages are not happy right now. Predominantly Power Block, because it's the trait that when you successfully interrupt somebody, it puts that skill on like a 15-second extra cooldown. And that's really, really oppressive in 2025 when, like, you need buttons to be able to play the game and can't just auto-attack somebody. So they got rid of that trait, which they should. But Power Mirage are not happy. And one of their stated goals was, like, we want to take a lot of the agency off of, like, interrupting other players and put it back onto, like, the player that does the interrupting, right? I mean, yeah, well, yeah, also fuck that Danker ambush when it had a daze. But Sword still does on the ambush, right, Gremini? Like, there's still things you can build for interrupting. It's just, like, and this is why I say things like always take time. Like, the Dagger Ambush was in the game for like a year and a half with a, like, what was it, multi-days on it? Like, I think your clones dazed and did conditions and insane power damage and all pierced too. Like, the daze was insane on Mirage. Conversely, the Berserker Dagger, whatever we're calling it, Primal Burst sucked. This one, yeah, Flying Cutter was, or whatever, Phantom Razor was one of the most unbelievably overpowered things I've ever seen in this game. It was very clearly just there to, like, sell End of Dragons. But they said in this patch, in the patch notes, like, here in their patch preview, we want to take agency off of, like, the, you know, the people that are getting interrupted, or take the feeling bad component away from that and put it back on the person doing the interrupting, which is fine. And then they were like, okay, Power Block's not gonna, by the way, these things aggro from space, they're like, Power Block's not gonna have the 15-second cooldown thing anymore. Good, right? Probably healthy for everybody on balance. Add some power budget back to Power Mirage if they want to do that in the future. Cool. And then there's a relic, right, that gives you a non-cleansable power debuff when you, or your opponent, a non-cleansable power debuff that does damage after a period of time when you interrupt them. And it's like, God damn it, ArenaNet. Like, out of the frying pan into the fire. It's better. Like, there's plenty of stuff that already does damage on interrupt, like Pulmonary Impact, I think, is still in the game on Thief. But, like, God damn it, you know? Like, the interrupt builds will still be there, but it's just, I'm not a huge fan of, like, uncleansable Condi-style power debuffs. It's like, why aren't you just building this as a Condi weapon at that point? But we'll see. Again, Cal pointed out that they're working on the numbers. The important thing is getting the numbers right. They did nerf things like Stormsinger. We'll see. Gremini, we'll see how it plays, right? I think Power Mirage, believe me, will still be, especially Chronomancer, will still be quite alive and well after this patch. Especially if it's just going to be doing more damage, right? Like, percentage damage multipliers in this game, super dangerous to give something. So, we'll see. One of the most interesting changes, so again, +1 ANET, maybe -1, we'll see, but I do like this patch on balance. And I also like that they managed to, 100 Blames memeing or not, they managed to actually explain a lot of the changes much better, which is something I wanted, you know, complaint number 2 from Pseudo for like 4 years. What was I gonna say? One of the most interesting changes, and will probably finally get me to make a Spear Kata build, is Blinding Ashes on Ellie. Those numbers are going to be real interesting to me, and seeing how they scale with power. Granted, if you take Blinding Ashes, which is Fire Grandmaster, again, not everyone knows everything, you're not going to be able to have the trait that just gives you Infinity Might, especially now that it gives you Infinity Might, without discharging your explosion. However, Blinding Ashes is now going to make Condi damage, or at least I think it's like burning damage, scale with power, but at a reduced rate. I'm just going to guess that for PvP in World vs. World, that rate's going to be 50%. That seems crazy to me. Like, Dragon's Condi Ellie. Yeah, exactly what Gremini said. It's, damn, I got power blocked and now I can't play the game, to damn, I got just killed, right? So again, the playstyle of just deleting your opponent on Power Mirage is still going to be there. But, like, Blinding Ashes scares me. I mean, yeah, that tends to be how their stuff goes, like busted or useless, but there's the reason for the people who've watched my channel intro for the 99th time, get Supply Dream. I look forward to him seeing that in 40 minutes because I didn't put the delay down on the stream. But oh, good, the delay wasn't that bad. There's a really famous ArenaNet quote from one of their, because I've always been a design nerd, whether it's Borderlands or ArenaNet or whatever. I love game design and why in games, and on balance, I do think that ArenaNet's done a pretty good job. What tier is this keep? We're solo taking this, bro. Come back here. This is happening. There's a really famous quote that I've sort of incorporated into my channel opening, where it's like the 9 million thing. If something, and this is not true for every skill or every trait in the game, some things do need functionality reworks. However, if something does 1 damage, it's not very good, probably, right? If something does 9 million damage, it's extremely good, almost universally. So for most things, whether it's cooldown or Condi duration or damage or whatever, there has to, or 100 blades damage or whatever, there has to be a number between 1 and 9 million that makes it probably pretty balanced and feel good for both you and your opponent, let alone PvE, right? There are 36 classes effectively in this game. Possibly even soon to be, what's the number, 45? Their balance cadence is dog shit. This game is great. They're communicating better. Their balance cadence in this game is awful. It's awful. They do not have nearly, because it's not the focus of the game. It's not. I would love them to be able to do balance patches every 2 weeks like this. They would love to be able to do balance patches every 2 weeks like this. Get supply, dude. What are you doing? They can't. They can't. They've tried. They can't. It's just a reality of Guild Wars 2. Which means that a lot of the underperforming things, whether it's Bladesworn or Body Blow or 100 Blades getting a damage buff or Greatsword getting a rework, are just forever not a priority, unfortunately. They're on the back burner. And one day they maybe get fixed if staff gets a move like Rush or something like that, you know? I just try to understand after 11 years. And this game is great. Guild Wars 2 is a great, fantastic game. I'm not saying their balance cadence being awful makes this game bad. I'm just saying you have to realize that when you start playing this game. Like, there are other video games you can play while you wait. And cope really hard like I do. All right, chat. Trivia time while we cat out this wall forever. Are you guys ready? And I'll make it a little bit easier here for you. We will... Which of the 9 base classes has the greatest number of stun breaks on it? See, these things aggro from literal space, dude. Stalkers are insane. In real life, too. That was a better pun than I intended it to be. I'm smart, chat. Actually an idiot. Anyway, which of the 9 base classes, exclamation point, I set this up before, has the greatest number of stun breaks on it? Or can equip the greatest number of stun breaks? You will get double gold, which is 100 gold. Yes, ammo skills count. Coolster. However many ammo it has, whether you have a 3 ammo stun break or a 2 ammo stun break. This is Warrior as well. Or, sorry, this is World vs. World as well. Starts with a W. So, exclamation point Thief, if you think it's Thief. Exclamation point Engineer, Engineer. You will get double gold. So this is 50 gold, or 100 gold, or whatever I said, if you get the specialization. No, It can include elite specs. I will give you 50 gold if you only get the base spec. I will give you 100 gold if you get the base spec and the elite specialization. This is pre-patch as well. This is pre this upcoming patch. Currently in the game. I will also give you gold if you get something right that I don't. And you can make a compelling argument, because I hate having money. Gotta do exclamation point Tempest. You think it's that? Very interested to see what people think. Because I had to think on this one. Because I'm not going to spoil this either way, but one of the things I realized is that Gadgeteer Slick Shoes change is no joke for Engineer. The reason being, Slick Shoes already gives you a stun break on the tool belt kit. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. That means taking Slick Shoes as an Engineer is going to give you 2 stun breaks with that one skill, as long as you're not, you know, having an aneurysm and playing Mechanist, right? That's nuts. That's a huge change to the game. You remember back when things could barely fit 2 stun breaks onto their bar in post Path of Fire nerfs chat? I do. Now you're going to have 2 on 1 skill with a Grandmaster, but still. That's crazy town. But yeah, our question is, which base class gives you the most stun breaks? Bonus points if you get the specialization. We're good on supply, I think, Dream. I could be wrong. Oh, nope, we're fucked. Keep running. Realistically, I should run supply as well in case I get some back. But, oh god. I'm not dead, chat. My balls are in my chest, but I'm not dead. Oh my god. Pink tag's supposed to come, but not sure. Alright, well. We'll see. Had some good entries. I dig it. And I should clarify also, this is an RNG drawing between the people that get it right. Sorry, that's how my giveaways work, unless it's a trivia night. Can't be giving away hundreds of gold to everybody. Not today, anyway. That's what the fashion contest is for. I miss the fall damage traits, though, Emperor. I really do. Warriors was one of the most fun, but Engineer with, like, the vomiting out grenades also had a really good one. I really like that. Here's a fun question for you, chat. Who has the second most? This isn't for gold. It's really interesting how things end up getting built and balanced and stuff. Like, oh, this thing has a bunch of stun breaks, but this thing can only fit 1 on their bar usually, you know? And then, like, it also affects, like, how many CCs, you know, things get added to it. Thank you for the follow. Philippon. Hopefully I said that right. Appreciate it. And we'll have plenty of time to enter our giveaway. Oh my gosh, we built a... Sold these to Berserker might be second. I like your logic. And this is like one rotation through their skills, so you know you use all the skills once essentially. Like some classes have some really low cooldown ones, or I shouldn't say you use all the skills once. You use every charge of all the skills once. So like there are some ammunition stun breaks and stuff. I really like the change in animation standpoint. I feel like it's a slugger rifle pushback bullet. So do you mean before they did any rework, or before back when it was just like doing 1,000,000 damage? Oh, you mean on the 4? Yeah, it removes a lot of a little bit of the flavor. Like Warrior still has a little bit of that with the roll and stuff. Firebrand's pretty solid as well. Firebrand is another reason why I don't think that they'll ever do the homogenized utility thing. Maybe they would if they don't give Firebrand's elite skill to anybody. Oh, I forgot they made this boss do 1,000,000 billion damage. Hang on, chat. No, I feel you. It's like, this comes up a lot when Muckluck points out as well, and I do feel for Necros losing transfusion, but I also commented in his video, I saw, and I think I told you guys, I saw the transfusion nerf, like even just the res power part of it, coming a mile a fucking way. Right? Like, there was no way that with CMC in charge, with what he, and honestly, I kind of agree with him for unbalance for the health of the game. There was absolutely no way something that powerful that just let you brute force through encounters the first time was going to survive. However, I will also acknowledge the flip side of that coin, where it's a huge teaching tool, like transfusion, whether it's pulling people to you or just rezzing them in general. It's extremely good for teaching people new encounters, and it does removing stuff like that without adding stuff back, like Extirpate or Transfusion or Daring Dragon or whatever it is, does remove a lot of class flavor. It's rough. And I'm not really okay with that, but is what it is. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, where it's like, they can't do that because, like, exactly what Gremini said, imagine having Vert having Mirage utilities, or like anything having Willbender utilities, you know? It's just, I don't want to, that's not a game I want to play, man. Like, I'm all for fun and feeling like a god in PvE and stuff, but that's not a game I want to play. I already spend 90% of every fight with a Mesmer not interacting with them in any meaningful way. Same thing with Warriors, too. I don't like that stances are how Warriors are built. I think it's bullshit. Everybody complaining and typing a comment about Stance Warrior, I feel you. It's dumb. I want utilities that are fun. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I mean, there's already a lot of counters, too. I know you're saying that sarcastically, but, like, the res on Warrior Banner is, like, it's super counterable. Like, if your opponent has, what is it? If you poison your allies that are downed, it doesn't res them fully. Because it just does flat healing. If you blind the warrior, it's like, there's so many counters to that. But yeah, I'd like more class flavor, not less. And hopefully this patch, you know, helps introduce some of that to some classes while keeping it healthy. We got a couple minutes. We'll give 6 more minutes on the trivia question, chat. Which class, including specialization, you know, double gold if you get the specialization. I'll roll between everyone who gets the base class to start with. But exclamation point, name of the core class that has the most stun breaks if you include specializations. And bonus points again if you get the specialization. My nose itches, chat. I actually kind of disagree with you. The only thing that I would do for warrior banners to rework them is if you dropped it and you picked up the banner, it now pulses on you. Instead of where you dropped it. I don't think they're bad at all. They may be boring, but I don't think they're bad. This one, especially, Tactics in World vs. World is insane. Yeah, kind of gyro style. The thing that I wanted for banners was a Grandmaster trait that when you use, like, kind of instead of the shout trait, when you used a banner, you could either use it on you or the opponent. And if you used it on the opponent, you just took the banner and, like, fucking chucked it and impaled them, right? And then it did like a greater damaging effect to them, and then like the sword, like the one-handed offhand sword 4, it just pulsed all the damaging effects and all the beneficial effects on that target instead of you or where you dropped it, right? You could either cast it on yourself or an ally or an enemy, and if you just like threw it into an enemy, it just like impaled them, right? And then it did all the stuff around that enemy. And then you could also either get like a flip over skill where you could rip it out of them to do bonus damage, because this is a Grandmaster in Tactics, presumably. Or Like, if we want to just keep it as the shout trait, when you shout, it does the shout effect around the banner that you place. Because, again, you're giving up a lot of your power budget to do a lot of this stuff. And, like, think about, like, Fear Me, right? Like, you drop a stomp banner and a power banner, and you've made all these unblockables so they actually hit. And then you use, like, Fear Me, and it just sends, like, 15 targets running away from the banners, stuff like that. So I don't really hate the banner rework they ultimately landed on. After literally everybody bitched, rightfully so. But yeah, there's definitely room for improvement. Yeah, get those entries in. Let's go over warrior skills I want reworked, right? This sight beyond sight needs to go. Sight beyond sight needs to be this base, and like Spellbreaker gets a new utility skill. This needs to have a lower cooldown and be unblindable, otherwise it's actually fine. I really like Fear Me. Maybe they could make it a stun break alternatively as well. I actually think Fear Me, even with all of like Bladesworn's cooldown reduction, is actually fine. It's a really good skill. It's just like got a cooldown that makes it unusable. All of Bladesworn's utilities suck nuts and need to be redone. That's a Bladesworn issue, not a warrior issue, though. Stomp, what I want for it. This is like the only... Kick needs to go slightly farther, and Stomp, there's one change I want for it, right? So Stomp, in End of Dragon's release, right, Chad? If anyone... Or the beta for a lot of the End of Dragon's specializations. Yeah, if Signet of Fury was usable during Dragon Trigger, that would be very nice as well, because Signet of Fury still has a cast time, technically. That would be cool. Or, like, if just Signet of Power wasn't bad when you pushed it, you know? Or redundant with Dragon Trigger, that would also work. Or if they could roll them into one or something. But, anyway, Stomp. So, if you played the beta for Vindicator, right? And you used their dodge, it would shoot you up in the air, and then you would get this reticle of where you were landing, right? So if you were a Vindicator and you dodged, you could land on the other side of terrain. Like, imagine this little branch is a giant cliff. You could actually use it like a blink skill. That was obviously overpowered being on dodge, even though they only had one. So they removed that from Vindicator. But I would really love to see that functionality, especially since Warrior's kind of struggling with like movement these days and they don't seem to want to like rework any of the weapon skills. I would love to see that functionality put on Stomp, because it's a whole utility skill, even if it has a slightly longer cooldown, and it basically becomes your blink skill where you can use it to surpass, you know, you only have one of these really, but you can use it to traverse terrain and stuff like that. I would love that. Or alternatively, I actually saw this suggested on the forums. You know how the Malik's version of Stomp, the leap, is getting like a flip over cast? A tier for Stomp, right? So you stomp, you like jump, and it launches it does like the 0 distance launch that Rangers have on like the Gazelle headbutt. It launches everybody in the air, 0 distance, and then you can recast it within a certain period, or if you hit something, to do another stomp that actually launches people back. And maybe the cooldown is 30 seconds instead of 24, you know, to balance it out. Stomp, I really want given a little bit more functionality and not just numbers changes. But other than that, I really don't hate warrior utilities. I don't hate that it's a launch. I hate that it's a launch and like a lot of the stability is redundant, because like it gives you stability when you use it. It gives you stability if you hit something, and then you're probably running Stalwart Strength, which is like more stability. And yeah, 3 stacks is better than 1, but could it do something else instead of having like all that redundant stability, you know? That's kind of like where I'm at with Warrior, where it's like it has it, not just Bladesworn, like it has a lot of pieces that end up being redundant, where it's like, this makes it unblockable, except I'm running staff, so my attacks are already unblockable, so arms is useless. And it's like, could we maybe like move some of this stuff around? You know, just like take A and move it to B so you can like not have it competing with C. Shit like that. Anyway, chat, we got a giveaway to do. Okay, and we just hit the threshold mark. So, I was actually wrong when I thought about this initially. And the reason I started thinking of this question, again, the question is, which class currently, including the specialization, has the most stun breaks in the game? I was wrong. And this is, sorry. I'm going to give people 5 more minutes because I'm not sure if I phrased this incorrectly. When you are speccing out a build, cramming the most stun breaks onto your bar. So not total, not available to you like you can select. It is the base class, and again, you have 5 minutes to change your answer. If you enter something new, it'll override your previous one. Exclamation point this. The base class that has the most stun breaks in the game in a build. Like, so if you think you can cram like 16 onto a warrior build, you can't that I know of, but if you think you can, that's what I'm looking for. So the most stun breaks at once on a build. Available to it. So I will give you guys another 5 minutes to change your answer because I may have worded that poorly because I am all over the place. So sorry about that, especially if you're playing along at home. Also, we didn't do... I'm going to roll the Mystic Coins that I think I owe you guys for missing a week into the fashion contest because we're giving away a lot of... If that's okay, if anyone is not okay with that, let me know, and I guess I'll just send you money. But I'm going to roll that in with that. And then we need a engagement bait. I'm sorry, engagement question for the people who catch these VODs. What do you think of the balance patch? Just tell me in the comments. I've already been, like, that's been the bulk of the content I've been interesting or fielding in terms of, like, talking with people. Just let me know. Write as much as you little as you want under this or any of the other VODs. Or any of the other posts for this week, and that'll be for 20 Mystic Coins as well. Not while it's live. Got a couple mid. All right, I'm coming slowly. Protein chat. Also, shout out to COVID. Not in a positive sense. Whatever the opposite of a shout out to COVID is. You remember how, like, COVID prices for stuff like eggs and protein, and granted the world's on fire in terms of trade right now as well, that's more of our own doing. You like how during COVID prices for shit just went up and then stayed up? I don't. I'm really tired of paying like $60 to $100 a bag for protein powder. If that could stop like real hard, that'd be nice. Like the new Heat the Soul quick installation. Oh, I saw that for PvE. Yeah, that's gonna make it a lot more smooth to play. I hope they finally fix, I don't know if they ever did, but Heat the Soul has this weird bug because it, I mean, COVID never went away, nah. Don't worry about it. People just stopped giving a shit because it wasn't popular to talk about. Now, as somebody who majored in neuroscience, that really upset me, where people just stopped masking, and every time I'd go to my hospital or doctor, be like, dude, you probably have COVID. And they test you, like, half their patients, and they still have it. But, you know, that's a whole conspiracy, right? COVID's not real. Neither is... I can't even make that joke. That's too dark. Anyway, yeah, if prices could come down for stuff, that'd be lovely. I mean, Walmart has to, Jack. Well, in quotes, has to. But this is not an economic policy stream. This is a, you know, write your senator if you're not happy with what's going on. This is a Guild Wars stream. I just want to do a shout out to the price of eggs and protein powder because I'd really like that to stop. And sometimes when you will stuff into existence, it works. Like this giveaway. So Heat the Soul, that's what I was saying. Heat the Soul has this fun bug because it used to be the torch trait, where it actually still like reduces the cooldown of one of the torch skills. I think it's the ammo skill. Like it just doesn't say it on the trait. So maybe they'll fix that. Again, I mean, Taylor's quite aware of this, where a lot of the tooltips for stuff are just not accurate at all. Because, like, they have to change them all manually and update them, and they never do that. So, if that could happen, that'd be great. At some point. Y'all perfect for eggs. I wish I had chickens, nah. Mail me some of your chickens, dude. Firebrand's a good guess. And again, if you can justify it and I'm wrong, let me know. But this is the maximum number of stun breaks you can cram onto a class. Who has the most? I think we're about at time, so Dream's gonna have to guard my body. Do you run Chaos? What Grandmaster? If you run Chaos, what Grandmaster do you take? Dream? Because I used to run Chaos on my Mirage, but like Chaos kind of sucks because all the Grandmasters are kind of like milquetoast, in my opinion, so not really sure there. Chrono's... I'll give you a chance to change your answer. Chrono's a good answer. I'm doing math in my head. I'm going to tell you the answer I have in mind, Vids, and I'll give you another 3 minutes because I keep thinking of different things. The answer is not Chronomancer that I have in my head. I think Chronomancer technically can have as many, rude, as the one I'm thinking of. Because I think you can, I forgot that you could trait, what's it called? The 4 skill to stun break. That is a good point. But the answer I have is not, or I have entered in chat, I would have to redo the bot, is not Chronomancer. But that's a good answer. Quite clearly. Gone. Continuum split. Does it stun break you when you reactivate continuum split? Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm not gonna... I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Vids. Yeah. I know you can F1 through F4 again. Vids, I will give you... Did anyone else write Chronomancer? No one else wrote Chronomancer. Does Chronomancer stun... Does anyone know if Chronomancer stun breaks you on reactivating Continuum Split if you take that one inspiration trait that I can't think of the name of? Now I'm really curious. Because if so, the answer is Chronomancer, yeah. But technically not, because they're not on one build. So, like... No, I'm sticking with what I had. I'm sticking with what I had for answers. Can't go into Dragon Trigger because it counts as a movement skill. God hates me. No, Vids, I'm going to... Nobody else put that. I'm going to give you 50 gold. Because that's a good answer, and I like that. I mean, confusion intensifies. I'm fighting like 4 things here. Give me a character name or an account name, Vids. And I'll get everyone else to try to read my brain. Because I don't think it's still... You can't... Yeah, I know you can pop all your utility skills during Continuum Split and get them back, but, like, I'm just thinking of, like, number of buttons that actually exist, like, on the builders. So it's still... It doesn't count, but I'm still going to give him half, or them half credit, because that's a good answer. I always forget about Chronomancer nonsense. That's why, like, Barry loves it, because it's, like, so simple and so complicated. Yeah, no rush on that dog. Anyway, I gotta do this drawing before we get ambushed by the druid that's just gonna run away again. Shout out to the, what's it called, soundtrack? Anarchy Reigns. For its 3 good songs. I don't think Signet of Illusion actually resets Continuum Split. I think they changed that. I could be wrong about that, but I recall that being in the... They added some pretty heavy limits, like Mimic, not applying in Continuum Split and Signet of Illusion, but I know you could back in the day, yeah. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure Signet of Illusions doesn't reset Continuum Split, at least in World vs. World. I don't mean to actually you, but I'm pretty sure. Otherwise everybody would be running it. And the Signet trait, which is quite good. Alright, drawing time. Well, Dumb Vids gives me an answer. I will do this drawing. The answer I had in mind was Tempest. Because Tempest gets 1 on each of its overloads, and then you can cram 3 on your utilities for a total of 7. If Chronomancer both ways on continuum split count, then that's technically doing the rotation once through is 8. But again, I wanted like what was on a build, so disparity bit. You have one also with an entry of Tempest. Congrats. Character name or an account name, and that was for a whole 100 gold. Don't worry, chat. We'll still have another RNG giveaway, so stick around. Firebrand is 8. Show your work. Show your work. Fuck, you're right. Firebrand has 8. Okay, I will give disparity bit for getting the answer right. As well as I will do another drawing. Wow, I'm gonna be really poor, chat. I will do another drawing for everybody who entered Firebrand. I am a man of my word. You are correct. Firebrand has 8 because they have a trait for it that I completely spaced on. Wait, does Tempest have a minor that stun breaks them? They're still tied though, even if Tempest has 7. Okay, I'll do one for Firebrand. I think you're the only one that entered Firebrand as well. Do I just give this to Coolster? My bot only grabbed you. That's interesting. Wow, I'm gonna be super poor, guys. Give me these names, don't forget. Yeah, Firebrand has 8. Oh my god. You're right, you're right. And I think... because I'm not sure if... I'm not sure if there's an instacast Ellie Elite, or if you have the summon thing. This is why I love this channel, chat, because everyone's a build nerd here. It's great. Yeah, no worries, dog. Whenever you can. So the thing with Tempest is I'm not sure if Minor Arcane Shield does it. Because if it does, then Tempest has 8 as well. You can do a character name or an account name, or if you're not comfortable with that, disparity bit, Salem, S-A-L-E-M, this character, all one word, is the character you can enter or mail. I'm being attacked by dogs, so you guys don't get his fancy message. But yeah, disparity bit and Coolster. Yeah. Get gold. Stomp has 2 count. Yeah, that'd be nice. Let's settle for that. So the thing with Savage Instinct is it doesn't stun break you when you exit Berserk mode. I actually originally, when I was doing the math on this, thought that Berserker had the most with 5, but it doesn't. But it's still up there because it has a trait as well for it. Indomitable Courage, yeah, I think it's definitely Firebrand. That's wild, dog. This is why I love doing trivia like this, because I end up learning a lot of shit as well. Alright, I'm gonna be male suppressed for one of you, but congrats. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I don't usually do big trivia, but especially if I learn something, I'm more than down. But we'll do another giveaway, don't you guys worry. Well, you gotta be subscribed to the channel and followed and hit the stupid bell that really annoys you for alerts, because you never know when Pseudo's gonna be in a great mood and do, it's after good balance patches, do big giveaways, chat. Savage Instinct, the damage immunity procs, the stun break doesn't. And I know they specifically said that when they previewed it, but I think it says on the trait as well. The damage reduction, yeah, it's mega stupid, and it's one of the reasons that the exiting Berserk mode functionality should just be baseline on Berserker, period, and then they should like write all that crap on the actual trait. There's so many exceptions to it. Also, the damage reduction is less in PvP than it is in World versus World, because I don't know, God hates you as a Berserker, but I know it doesn't stun break on exit. But yeah, it turns out Firebrand blows Tempest out of the water, and Tempest blows Berserker out of the water. Anyway, this came up when I was like just thinking about it, right? Because I was like, wow, NG's getting another stun break. The pulses count? Which pulses, Sergio? The charges? Yeah, the charges count. Said that. Someone asked that like 4 times. So I was like, NG's getting another stun break. That's going to put NG at like 5, right? If you trade it. That's kind of crazy, but I guess it's kind of balanced like Warrior, so that's sort of insane. But it turns out like Ellie and Guardian are like crazy town, you know? All right, send this off before I forget as well. Gotta pay attention. Hopefully the music's all right. We've been getting more DMCAs, which is kind of just how the world's going. So if music that you liked disappears from the channel, I will try to just have a playlist and stuff that I can link people. But apologies for that. Music sounds good. Yeah, I've been doing more like chill music as well in here. Oh no, I'm down to 8,000 gold. I'll have to make the 3 legendaries I just did map completion for. Nose itches, chat. Oh my god. Ah, so disgusting. Humans are gross. No worries. Yeah, and I've gotten this question a fair bit. If you're on Steam or you're on EU, you should be able to receive gold as long as you type your characters. Also, A tier job actually typing your characters and your account names correctly tonight, chat. Sometimes people don't, and then I get mail suppressed, and then I forgot to send the money. So, congrats on that. Yeah, no worries. Good knowledge of the game systems. We need to do another macro trivia night as well. Maybe after this balance patch goes through. But give them feedback on the patch. Also, this warmed my like tiny pseudo heart, right? Want to say just about every 4th comment, and granted, some of them could have been phrased better, but just about every 4th comment on that balance patch preview like feedback thread was, you need to fix Bladesworn for PvP. I'm not joking. Or at least Warrior. People want this class to be good. They want to play it. Every now and then I'll see Valen or some other streamer, Traumadex, trying to play Bladesworn. It's like, people want to be a gun samurai, dude. People want this class. Like, they do. They want to live the weeb life. They love anime. It was just, I was just like, oh my god, these are people. Presumably, they could all be bots via the dead internet theory, but still. Where are we going? We're gonna go take solo take air dream. That's also cute for EBG, I think, unless it's down to 12. Let's do that. Yeah, it's just unfinished. Right? It's got some band-aids on it, but it's unfinished. I'm more really curious to see if Artillery Slash is just gonna always daze. Muck's big giveaway said many times, don't give away. Yeah, sounds like him. Makes sense. You can, there's only, that's why I try to be reasonable with like the follows and stuff. Stuff like that, where, you know, if somebody follows, I know there's a timeout timer on the Twitch thing because of bots. I was getting some incredible bots, by the way. We went over the sponsors I've gotten as a smaller channel. I should go over the bot listings I get as this channel. Dude, that'll be a fun piece of bonus content. But I try to be reasonable and extend those and stuff. Right, exactly. Most interesting classes, the systems are even cool. The execution is like a 2 out of 10. Right? Like 8 or 9 out 10 out of 10 idea, 2 out of 10 execution. Just, that's it. That's Bladesworn. Sea of Sorrows. Sea of Sorrows was my original server. And Sea of Sorrows being my original server, I 100% get the complaints with when they changed the scoring stuff. Because as an OCX server predominantly, where we would get absolutely fuck rolled during the day, and then absolutely fuck roll back, if you'll excuse my language, chat, at night, 100% get why people who have to play on NA, despite the lag, would complain about that. But they fixed it a little bit, so progress. Again, baby steps. You have no idea what's going on in World vs. World. Well, if you just want to win, transfer to Mag. If you'd like to join Vanguards of Ascension, we always take more roaming buddies. The only rule is no political or religious stuff in guild chat. And it's a very chill community of people who just like build crafting and whatnot. I don't know where Dream is. I kind of went in a maze. Oh, you died. Okay, I'll come get you. Hang on. Someone missed the hay bale. He's behind me. Yeah, you gotta do a little falls. Essentially, they did alliances without alliances, is what's going on this party bit. Also, I'm glad that my money could go to somebody who's returning. That helps me out. And my soul. Little pseudo heart. Mag is the new Blackgate where they just dogpiled. So Maguma was the server that was just ultra dominant before alliances, and then when alliances. So here's the thing. Here's what happened with that. The short version is there's no more servers anymore. You can play with your guild, and then your guild, based on the number of people that select it, gets reshuffled with other guilds. So if you have a 500 person guild with all 500 people selecting World vs. World as their guild that they want a World vs. World as, you're probably not going to get paired with like very large guilds, right? The thing is, when that system flipped over, because originally the idea of alliances was you would get to choose who your guild's allied with, and then they would compete for leaderboards. That didn't happen because ArenaNet realized at the 11th hour, we don't have the population to sustain this, because it's just going to be the one server that everyone bandwagons onto on NA, whether it's Blackgate or Mag or whatever, like server guild alliance thing, and then everybody else that just gets dominated, right? So you can play with your guild, but you can't choose who your guild plays with, essentially. So basically, when that happened, everybody who was on Maguma just made mag guilds, like in the tagline, like, and then, you know, that's only for people who'd want to try hard World vs. World, and power to them. But boy, fighting them isn't fun. But power to them. I actually have a meme video that, thank you Toho Animation, I can't put on YouTube. It gets DMCA'd every fucking time. Is going to go up on Twitch because for some reason Twitch doesn't care about that. So I guess get followed on Twitch as well if you want to see some YouTube content. I'll try to maybe put a link to it in the YouTube post things. Maybe put it up on Reddit. I was never around for when Fort Aspenwood was, but I know you've played this game since the Stone Age, so I would defer to Sergio. Sergio's got like quadruple the World vs. World level I have. Even though that's not possible. You know what? You know what I should do as a fun activity for me after the stream? I should go over to the Thief forums and see what they think of the changes. Because to me, the Thief changes actually looked really interesting, because finally Thieves seem like they're going to have something with all the Dark Aura nonsense outside of stealth. And that's something, as somebody who's always been really interested in how Thief is built, well, as sample size of 1, according to Dreaminology, the Thief changes look good. Good. I've always been really interested in building a dually Thief that relies much less on stealth, but that's never really been possible. But especially with how, like, actually strong Dark Aura is, hopefully that, like, if you're just not taking condition damage, essentially. Yeah, it seems less forced, right? That's a good way to put it, Kale. Support Spectre seems a lot less forced in any game mode. Yeah, do you know the Nomo guild that I occasionally shout out and people watch occasionally when they're playing Dream? There's a dude, I think, in Nomo named Soup, and I think I messaged this to you or in guild chat when I was like doing map completion or something. He has just a straight immortal spear thief build, or it's like spear staff or something. Like, literally, the dude does not stop evading, and for some reason, it's actually stronger underwater. So, yeah, it's gonna be real interesting. All right, my Q popped. Excuse me. Selly Spear Shortbow, strong as fuck. Makes sense. Q pop soon. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, the thing with Thieves is you have to remember everything ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows, right, Chad? Unless you're a warrior, in which case you just continuously get fucked. No, but for real, like, Thieves, especially with, like, the reveal nerf in World vs. World, not that they're balancing around, like, roaming, but Thieves got one of those macro game changes I talk about a lot, like removing damage from CC. They had one of those changes happen more recently. Like, that nerf to, or I guess buff to reveal for World versus World, combined with the same patch where I think like all of their initiative costs went up again, or cooldowns for like perma-stealth thief or something, really hit them hard. I don't want to say destroyed Thieves because clearly they're still a terror, but like really hit Thieves hard. So I'm super, super happy as somebody who's still coping on Warrior for actual functionality changes to see Thieves getting something other than just more stealth. I mean, to be fair, Sergio, Thief from back in the day is like kind of supposed to counter Ellie. At least now you'll have another Obsidian Flesh you can push. I mean, they do catch you, that's for sure. They're definitely supposed to be the fast class. I don't know, like I said, I'm really interested in the blinding. Like, I've been thinking about the situation you're in specifically, Sergio, a lot more, and like, hopefully the blinding, I know you don't, and a lot of this comes up where I'll be like, oh, this is getting buffed, and you'll be like, I don't use that trait, or I don't use focus, and fair enough, but at least you have options, right? I don't know, maybe the blinding ashes change will get me to finally try out something like Spear Kata, because I know there's a Spear Catalyst build floating around PvP that's an absolute horror to deal with. Been trying to figure out if Homage knows it. Free plug for Homage as well. Go subscribe to his channel. Great PvP dude. No, but on balance, I will also be super, because this balance patch, I almost didn't think we were going to get a preview for this balance patch because the release is in like a week, right? I thought it would coincide a lot more with that. I'm glad that they've started being less afraid to desync their balance patches from like the beginning and end of PvP seasons or the beginning and end of like big releases. Hey, Sai, what's up? How are you? How are you doing? Hopefully well. They've become less like afraid to do that, right? And we got a whole month for this preview, which is kind of, I think it's the most we've ever gotten for a balanced preview. Granted, it's a larger preview, but still. I have to think that the new relics will be in the game next week, but aside from that, like, we still got like 3 weeks and change for them to iterate on stuff. So I will be personally really interested to see what the changes are that people, like, they previewed versus the ones they end up putting in the game. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm super psyched for this balance patch. Just streaming some World vs. World. I mean, by proxy, Guardian actually got some not insubstantial nerfs this patch, Sergio. Like, the Binding Blade thing is actually kind of huge in terms of nerfing Guardian. This is that Blood Bank trait I was talking about. Like, Binding Blade being able to hit 5 targets and pull them from actual space is not a joke. Like, it's a good button. So, I don't know. Like, there's some Guardian changes in this patch, and because they didn't just get, like, buffed to shit like everybody else did, they're kind of getting a nerf by proxy. But we'll see. It was I will say, Muckluck, I know you probably don't watch these, but it was a little bit refreshing because I watched his whole 2-hour like thing where he went through the balance patch as well. I think he was sick when he did it, so hopefully he feels better. But there was it was refreshing to hear a little bit of his salt, even just as a ranger player, like Guardians getting features that he has as a ranger, being like, oh, I have that on my siege turtle and stuff like that. It's like, now you know what it's like. But I don't wish anyone misfortune. And he just had a huge stream, I think, giveaway and stuff. It was pretty cool. Did I tell you guys the story? I think he's okay with me saying this. I talk to him occasionally, and he's very nice. Oh yeah, the quickness on quick draw thing is insane, but I also think that that trait kind of needs something, so we'll see how much quickness it is, right? It's probably only enough for one skill, so maybe like 1.5 seconds probably. No, quick draw has always been a really interesting trait, and again, it's on my notepad. Power Druid. I was already gonna make a quick draw Power Druid. Now I'm super gonna make a quick draw Power Druid. I'll tell you that much. Oh, Muckluck's a super chill guy. Very nice. Nice dude. Believe me, I'm not saying Ranger's not getting cool stuff, because even the Torch changes are pretty interesting. Considering that Torch 4 starts off as a finisher. But again, Torch literally hasn't been touched in like 12 years or whatever, so... I would be interested to get a hold of like Hugh or Robert G, or even Carl McLean is like supposed to be on these balance previews and he like never shows up or something. And I don't know if he's not just like cleared by legal or what, but I'd really like to get like some of the OG designers' opinions on like the new balance changes and what they think about the game and the gaming landscape and whatnot. Turn on action camera, toggle it on. Sorry, Dream, I tried. Yeah, I know. I mean, we were sitting by their spawn. Mace Soul Beast, actually. Interesting. But the thing with Mace Soul Beast is if you're... I'm assuming you mean the 3 that's a stun, right, with Mace Soul Beast. Quickness actually doesn't affect the cast time of movement skills. So quickness, if you quick draw the Mace 3, won't actually affect how fast you cast it. That's the thing Warrior struggles with a lot. Okay, then the 5. Yeah, for damage, it's going to be great. Like actually beating someone into the ground. That sounds fun. I'm not saying it doesn't synergize. I just wanted you to be aware of that. It's an interesting thing with Warrior because like part of the way they balanced it was giving it more quickness. But the thing with Warrior is like half of its skills, I've been thinking about this more and more, like Warrior's skills aren't really affected by quickness because a lot of them are like really transient movement skills in a way. So it's kind of a weird thing. Like what's Warrior have? Oh, quickness on CC. What does that help? Nothing. Does it help Skull Grinder? No, because it's technically a movement skill. Does it help your Greatsword skills? Not 2 of them. Like what does that help? Nothing really. It's like gun saber skills, you know? Binding Blade is the 5. So the thing with the Binding Blades, Sergio, yeah, it'd be interesting if it worked with Relic of the Warrior, but that's kind of balance, right? Like that it doesn't. And just run through this Zerg real quick. It's fine. Binding Blades is the 5 on the Greatsword, and what you could do or can do currently on live with Binding Blades is you can throw it, and I can like you send off 5 projectiles. Yeah, because isn't Decapitate not a movement skill because it's just a shockwave now? Eviscerate is the non-Zerk one, and then Decapitate is the Berserker one, right? I could be wrong. It's been a hot minute since I played Axe Berserker, but like if I shoot up 5 Binding Blades, like I use the Greatsword 5 here, it'll hit 5 things if I'm in range. The thing with Binding Blades is it's kind of like Impale on this one-handed sword thing. So... Oh, is it technically... Because they never changed it? I don't know. I'll look it up. I'm interested now. But the thing with Binding Blades is it shoots off projectiles, right? Those projectiles embed themselves in targets. And the problem there is that I can go basically infinity range. I think it's like until the blade in somebody disappears. Like if I have Dreamonology over here, right? And he has a Binding Blade in him, I can run like all the way to space, and even if I'm not in range of it, re-trigger it, and it'll do the Dragon Hunter spear pull thing, where it'll still pull you a little bit, it'll like CC you and nudge you, toward the Guardian no matter where they are. And it's actually a really, really strong skill. And the fact that they are chunking that from 5 targets down to 1 is actually enormous. It's also weirdly a huge PvE nerf because a lot of Guardians, and if you look at the Guardian feedback, I have to presume a lot of people are probably upset about this. It's useful for grouping up mobs in PvE, predominantly in fractals, and they're actually nerfing that functionality because they don't like the interaction where you can just hit 5 people and group them from space. I have to think. So, Guardian's getting a little bit of a side nerf this patch, which doesn't happen often. I would have to assume Decapitate, if it's a movement skill, it's a movement skill from being a holdover of a movement skill before they reworked it and they just never changed the properties. That's weird though. Does it remove Immobilize if you have Warrior Sprint on? Vids? Do you know? That's a good idea. I know, I think the Staff Berserker Rampart Splitter also... they explained it in the video, Kale. If it's not in the patch notes, they explained it in the video. They spent a whole, like, paragraph and a half explaining why. I know Rampart Splitter, the Staff F1, counted as a movement skill for no reason as well. It's like how Spear on Warrior counts as a melee weapon, just cuz. The real answer is cuz it's Gun Saber, but just cuz. Was it mentioned stream verbally that they're decreasing the cap on blinding bait? Yes, it was. So it may not be in the notes. Otherwise, I'm just spreading this information. I made that up. I swear they talked about it. I can maybe find it for you guys. Hang on. Dream can guard my body. It should be in my little VOD thing I did as well. Open that up. I'm glad to see we're not dropping frames. This is nice. Actually streaming today. You can see my incognito search history along with all my speed tests. Hang on. Surprise, surprise, it's all Guild Wars. Stream looks smooth, spring, da-da-da-da-da. Hey, you're guarding my body while I check this for chat. I'll give chat an activity as well. Exclamation point. 8 days in chat for the new Guild Wars 2 release. Oh, there's Sergio. Hang on. Hey, I searched from my account, sir. Except I didn't spell it correctly. Very curious now. Do I have Firefox unmuted? I want to blow out everyone's ears. Talk about the changes. Guardian, annotated, timestamped, Guardians, actually. Yeah, they probably just forgot to change it, Vids. Because Decapitate used to move it. Applied by different sources, debuffing the skill now stacks. Yeah, so the actual skill may hit more than one thing, but the projectiles will only hit. Sorry, that's not linked. Don't ignore that. I mean, you don't have to, but the actual projectiles will only hit one thing. It just doesn't shotgun people anymore. Well, it says, I mean, I'm reading it from the slide. I linked it where I'm reading it. Projectile from the skill now can only hit their original target. Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. So it may still hit 5 things, but all 5 projectiles can't hit one person. Is that what we're going with, Kale? Okay. So again, this is me open to being wrong on the internet. Yeah, that may have been what they were talking about. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. I think Kale's got it. Yeah. Like you can only hit 5 things instead of like doing the whirl in the boss's hitbox thing and them having to balance around it, like doing 5 times the damage in PV. Okay, I'm wrong. Redacted, I take it back, I'll leave it in, but still. Fair enough. I know there's a lot of stuff like that. Like you used to, on Elementalist, like the meta for dungeon running was like the staff burning speed thing where you would just like run up to this wall and like use it against the wall and then pull all the mobs into it so they all got like all the tiles ticking. Stuff like that. Same thing with Berserker longbow F1s for a really long time. Okay. Fair enough. Well, take note, chat. You can still be pulled from space. It's a very interesting, like, that's some high-level Guardian stuff. Like, I always respect a Guardian when they're like, hit me with it, and then they'll run away, and they'll like, I'll be mid-fighting something else, and I'll just get pulled for no reason, and be like, did my game just glitch out? Oh, I got Binding Blade pulled from space. Yoink. It's like that thing where someone talks about you and you sneeze. Alright, let's take something here, chat. We're gonna take this tier 2 tower, Dream. Come on. What could go wrong? The real question is, when is Sergio going to level cooking? I thought it was pretty good before. Yeah, 750. Alright, so PvE nerf, PvP buff. 750 hits the world. 750 is huge. It's like from me to that dredge. That's enormous. Do you remember, chat, when they were doing that thing where they, like, for a nanosecond pretended that they were gonna normalize all of the skills in the game to be, like, intervals of 60? And how that lasted for, like, one balance patch? And now Warrior has, like, a staff skill that goes 800 range. And there's, like, 750 range skills. Because fuck it. I think they're more going for intervals of 150 these days. But yeah, exclamation point 8 days in chat. You have to be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube. And that'll be for another RNG giveaway for 25 gold. But Unbalanced this patch really owns. I'm very excited. Vanilla Guild Wars 2 when, am I right? I wonder if that would have any draw. I know Old Lion's Arch would, because people just don't want to do the achievements to unlock it. Best map, and they hid it behind a stupid achievement panel. Does it? Yeah, I seem to remember that in the preview as well. Thief Spear being, like, real weird, actually. Like, some of them are, like, 400 and barely melee and kind of not really. Yeah, if you're new here, if you're old, welcome back. I am Pseudo. I stream Monday, Wednesday, sometimes Friday at 9 Eastern. Giveaways every week. We've already given away 250 gold tonight. I think more than that. 275. It's going to be a 300 gold stream. Aren't you lucky, chat? And our question for over the break for 20 Mystic Coins is, what do you think of the balance patch? I really like the 3-chain tech, though. Like, the ranges may be random, but if they were ever going to redo Bladesworn, I really want them to use the Thief chain tech for literally the skills that are 2 through 5. I think that'd be amazing. Like, actual Devil May Cry Bladesworn combo weaving. Right, and you can't kata this wall for reasons. I seem to remember that. Alright, let's go. Sergio, have you ever been happy about a balance patch, though? You just gotta be happy, man. You can't go through life hating everything. I'm being pulled by something. Oh, it's people. Alright, well. It seems pretty fun, yeah. And even if you're not hyped, I'm sure there'll be something that you'll find fun. That volatility relic for Ellie seems pretty interesting, in my opinion. All good. I got away. The good news for as well, if you especially if I don't know if it's push or I don't know if it's more people streaming it or what, but like kudos for new people trying push and just PvP in general, because there's a lot that seem to be getting into it, and I'm super happy about that. Like PvP is genuinely fun, especially if you like don't know what's going on and just turn off your chat box and you're learning. So kudos to you guys. Like, and if you have any questions, let me know. But fudge, I couldn't cast it. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think I got 50, but it was pretty good. Like, people have been asking on Reddit, like, what's with PvP? And I actually responded with what I was going to put into a video. PvP in this game, just to really briefly summarize what I wrote on Reddit, is really esoteric because it's not like a deathmatch or a battle royale or an FPS where the goal of the game is very straightforward. Like, kill enemy, get goal, win game, right? Survive, win game. In traditional conquest in this game, it's all points-based. And everybody has a different idea of what they should be doing or what everyone else should be doing, based on your build that you know and everyone else's build that you don't know because you're not allowed to inspect it because of ANET reasons. So it's not like a, what would you even call it, hero shooter where you can queue up on different roles. None of that exists. So everybody essentially has a different idea of what should be going on, how to communicate, what they should be doing. And then that is also completely different from playing with somebody on comms, let alone playing against 5 people on comms. And granted, you get those differences in things like League of Legends or COD as well, where like communication fundamentally changes how the game is played and stuff. But the biggest difference is if you're in silver, it is going to drastically alter how you play the game versus if you're in gold or plat. Because chances are if you're in silver, no one's looking at the minimap. Nobody is looking at the minimap or back capping or doing their role or anything. No offense to silver players. If you're in gold or plat, more realistically, everyone's on, they're playing the game, they're doing the role. 1 or 3 fights is going to decide the game. And those are very different video games. So that's why I like push, because I think it is more casual. Hopefully it's completely not balanced except for the minion thing. Like the target cap minion thing. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. Same here. Minimaps are for losers, Sergio. Most people in video games don't read. I mean, the Helldivers devs found that out recently. Most people don't read, alone in video games. Yeah, I also just, in general in games, I really like when things are just, like, nuts, right? It's like when, you know, because League of Legends is all combat-based, and periodically they'll have a patch where it's just like, and we changed everything in the game. And it's like, everyone, no one, even the pros, like, no one knows what's going on, and everyone needs to figure out, like, what's good and what's balanced, or, like, what to run and shit. And it's always just so much fun being a cluster of nonsense. You know what I mean? I love that. It's like when there's a new Souls game out and no one actually knows what to do. Playing through that is like a magical experience. Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing, Kale, is the thing with Guild Wars 2 maps, and I pointed this out in my post, is a lot of them don't inherently have comeback mechanics built into them. So part of the problem is, or very good comeback mechanics outside of Skyhammer. So part of the problem is that you get these matches where they're very one-sided. Payload matches, because of how, you know, you need to be closer to the enemy's spawn, or as you progress the point, you get closer to the enemy's spawn, at least have that rubber band mechanic in them. So it's... Sorry, Sergio, I tried, dog. I actually really like that that's built into that, and I will say I've made some incredible comebacks in push, where, like, we lost the first match, and then it was just, you know... we pushed back. We did the push. So, I'm happy to have a game mode where there's inherently a comeback mechanic built into it. There's obviously things they need to fix. And it's, like I said, it's hella not balanced. And my opinion is not, you know, I'm not the center of the universe. Yet. I'm working on it. I did a hell of a lot of push-ups, chat, today. Get there one day. But I will say that's definitely something that hasn't really, like the rubber banding, hasn't really existed in Guild Wars 2. But that's built into things like MOBAs as well, like the run back time is less as you push into the base a little bit. They have other rubber band mechanics a little bit sometimes. Stuff like that. I just wish we'd get a new world versus world map. Or, better yet, this. I saw... Chat? I want to tell you something. This is secret. I don't know if I can tell people this. You know that Roy character who wasn't on the stream? A little bit suspicious. I'm going to turn the music down for this. It's a little bit suspicious. I saw him in Edge of the Mist the other day. Coincidence? I think not. Oh, man. I just want Edge of the Mist back, dog. I want a new map for World vs. World, god damn it. You know what map? Are we cute on this map? Here, chat. I'm going to show you the map I want. It's in the game. This is the map I want for World vs. World. This thing. You know how much, ArenaNet, do you know how much money I would pay if we could have this bitch as a World vs. World map? It's not zero, I'll tell you that. Significantly higher than $0. We just have a week where we have like Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire and Heart of Dragons and Old Lion's Arch maps as World vs. World maps, dude. Oh my god. So much money. Old Lion's Arch is the best map in the game. You pay them every time they do real nerfs. I mean, fair enough. Let's... Sergio, whether you're being a salty sandwich or you're me complaining about Bladesworn, like if... No one's the center of the universe, right? So vote for your... Like, I can't stress this enough. If you like a patch, vote with your wallet. Throw them some gems. If you don't like a patch, vote with your wallet. Don't buy anything. Ain't it take my money? Exactly, dog. It'd be amazing. Also, the work's kind of done for old LA because they already disabled mounts there. I love that map. I honestly, I just want, like, you know what I would also love? Just like a beach-based, like a beach cliffside, like JoJo Arc 7. I think it's 7. The one where they're back in Morio. Like, seaside town, World vs. World. Something happy. They haven't done a lot of happy maps lately, and I'm kind of tired of, like, at least in the story, getting stuck in, like, each successive demon's butthole for each new map. You know what I mean? I want a happy map where it's, like, sunny out and there's, you know, happiness and bikinis and fun, because Lord knows the world kind of sucks right now. Instead of just like, oh, what's this? Another gloomy and dark map where everyone's dead. Thanks, ArenaNet. That's the kind of fantasy I want to live. You nailed it. I'd say there isn't a map or two for that. No. So, Morgan, the thing with me and I want one. I want one. 100%. I mean, no ships? That's a monkey's paw. But instead of the siege turtle in World vs. World, I legitimately want skiffs and fishing. And if I was going to design my pie in the sky, other than like a Skyward Sword Island Dragon World vs. World map in the game, I would have, where is it? Desert? Picture something like desert, right? This central keep, because they have the tech to do this now. Yes, obviously they need to balance underwater. Just design-wise, this keep, Stoic Rampart, the song sucks for this. This keep is underwater, varying based on the time of day. And when it's underwater, it gives double points if you take it. Or an EBG, where the middle castle is underwater based on the time of day. And because they have the tech now to do water at different heights. I don't know if they could change it based on the time of day, but I know they have the tech to do water at different heights because they developed it for Soto and used it like twice on those maps. Because if you didn't know, every base map in this game has a water layer under it. That's actually why if you go into your graphic options and turn off reflections or turn down reflections, it will actually render better. If you just turn this to terrain and sky instead of all, it will up your FPS a considerable amount because it's trying to render reflections that don't matter because there's a water layer under every base map. Nobody would play the desert map then. No one plays desert already. People hate change. We're wired to hate it. And everyone likes different stuff. I would just love it. I mean, again, I think it'd be fantastic. They would obviously have to balance everything though. World versus world is PvP, but it's a complete shit fight, right? It's, I can roll and I can maybe successfully 2v1 somebody, or I can just get absolutely rolled over by a Zerg. And it's open world PvP. And the cool part about world versus world, and I really, again, I will call ArenaNet out when they don't do things like this. I wish they would lean more into the original idea, from what I've heard, where the idea was, I take this cool gear that I earn in PvE, right? Like the Ascended gear, the infusions, if I can get them, and I take all of that and I use that in world versus world. So world versus world, to me, at least in a macro design of the game, is where it's sort of the macro end game of every game mode. Like PvP, you end up doing there because it's combat and you can show off. PvE, you end up there because it's where all you can do all the build customization and everything. And it's not balanced inherently. It's way less balanced than PvP, which is why I love it. You can do insane stuff. It was. And when they put desert in with POF, they actually added 2 desert borderlands and everybody complained. So they rolled it back to 1. Here's the real question, chat, before we do our drawing. And again, get those answers in. 8 days, exclamation point, 8 days in chat. Gotta be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube. Do you guys remember the meta event that was in Desert? No? Well, I'll tell you about it. Pull up a chair, chat, and let Uncle Pseudo, I'm not gonna say sit on my knee because everything sucks now and you can't say that anymore. But I'll tell you a tale. So once upon a time in Desert, right? I gotta fight this guy. Here, I'll kill this Guardian for you, Sergio, so you can have a glimmer of happiness in your life. I'm sorry. Anyway, when Desert came out, right, there was this thing where you would all pile into Desert, and this is the way why Desert is the way it is. The big cannon thing, this is actually in the original trailer for Desert that I've used the footage of a couple times. You would all pile into the middle of Desert every, I think it was 2 hours. I think it was a day cycle, but it was world versus world day cycle, so it was weird. This thing was an actual meta event that you would compete for capture of, and then if you held it, it would fire a cannon and hit all of the other keeps. The problem was their servers already weren't good, and it would lag everyone's game to shit. So within the first, I actually never got to experience it because I never world versus worlded back then. And within like 2 weeks, they disabled that shit. But on a macro level, I actually really like that idea. It's kind of how EBG is now, where there are meta events that sort of force Zergs and force Zerg fights in different maps. Granted, the queue system kind of screws that in a lot of ways, but I do like them trying stuff like that. Yeah. It's a clusterfuck, but fun. All right, we got to do this drawing. So thank you for the entries. Appreciate it. Again, we will be back on Wednesday for more of this. Not calling the stream now, just letting people know before they peace out, because that always, actually it doesn't always happen. You guys are actually really chill. Click this button here. We got a breakdance as well. I'm using the pose emotes too much. JP, you have won. Congrats, dog. Character name or an account name? I like your thief. Fashion creep on Dream a little bit. I like this. Very cool. Very thief. Yeah, or Whisper Salem. S-A-L-E-M. All one word. I wonder if Blinding Ashes is going to scale with Might. Gosh, I want to know the numbers on everything for the balance patch so bad. I want to start theory crafting, especially the relics. But again, give him some congrats, chat. JP has won our 3rd giveaway of the night. I suppose it's technically the 3rd giveaway of the night. Give me a character name or an account name before the end of the stream. Or, if you prefer, Whisper Salem, S-A-L-E-M, all one word. And if he does not draw it, I will do another drawing. Oh, there he is. On Wednesday, but he did. Thank you, sir or madam. Hang on. I will copy that for later use. We're going into this, by the way. This is happening. I'm fighting all these frogs in this deadeye. Dragon Trigger, come out one of these days. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about that relic. That's another one that I saw it, like the Alacrity relic, and I was like, what are the numbers on this? So here's the thing with the dot, right? Because it's going to be a debuff. Because people don't realize there's difference. Some people don't realize there's a difference between boons and buffs in the game. Boons are things that go on your bar and you can rip, and conditions are the opposite of that, where they go on your bar and you can cleanse them. Buffs and debuffs are permanent additions to your bar, semi-permanent. So if I do a Dragon Slash 3 for reasons I get adrenal health, that's a buff. They can't rip that off my bar, at least not yet, in terms of balance, right? So the dot relic, if it puts if it doesn't have stacks, so it doesn't layer on itself, and you can't just keep interrupting people a la Mesmer, Mesmer Days Mantra, I can see it being almost balanced if they get the numbers right, especially because it's probably going to scale with power. The thing is, things like Lightning Rod Ellie or the debuff that Cal mentioned on Spear already have other debuffs that are like that. Yeah, does it scale? How does it scale? Yeah, what's the scaling? Can it crit when it does its hit? Yeah, I worry about that relic. Do I know if Relic of Demon Queen takes effect on Siege? So, if you apply poison to Siege and someone repairs it, poison doesn't affect Siege. Health gain, I don't think. If poison affects Siege health gain, then yes, Demon Queen affects it, but I'm 99% sure it doesn't. I mean, it might also be a static amount, but I would imagine it scales. I believe applying poison to Siege does not do decreased health. I think that the things that affect stuff like that are like the cow debuff. I don't think poison affects Siege, period, so I wouldn't think that Demon Queen would affect it. But again, I could be wrong. I was already wrong about the Stunberg thing earlier. Or not technically about the stun, it was the other thing. I'm wrong a lot, chat. Spoiler alert, most humans are. Song owns. Again, shout out to Divide Music. You mean Siege to poison a group? Yes. That will affect the poison that you apply via Siege. Almost 99% sure on that one. Yeah, it should. As long as you're not, somehow swapped off it or in a weird transform. Yeah. I think the cow and the arrow card do that. The real question is, where's the leather jacket? Are we getting that in the gem store tomorrow? I think I bought gems for it. No, I didn't. I'll do that now. How much are... Name change contracts are on sale. Gotta buy 1,000. Also, apparently keys are on sale as well, chat, if you like wasting money. Support the game, please. I love this game. And this is the best Phoenix Griffin. Changed my mind. I want a whole set of these. I want a Warclaw that looks like this. You have some good mounts in here right now, actually. I don't have the Steamworks Skyscale, but I don't really care about it. This one's better. This thing's weird looking. Where's the Roadrunner? Do I have this? Chocobo. Not Chocobo. They usually come back Festival of the Four Hands, Festival of the Four Hands, Festival of the Four Winds, chat. My friend was also waiting for those. They've started doing the thing where they no longer make seasonal gem store things like only once a year. Even the candy corn gobbler occasionally comes back, but yeah, there's a jacket I want. I think it's gonna be 500 gems. I'm gonna see if I can. Oop, Sergio's dying. Hang on, Sergio so graciously linked me this thing and he's dying. I managed to do that, chat. Let's see if my teleport wants to be a real boy. It doesn't. Bikini will probably be once a year. Or Festival of the Four Winds, one of the two. The real question is when are the new swimsuits, Burnt Fish? Sorry, JP, I still gotta mail you gold. I'm doing too many things at once. Guard my body. Don't send me stuff. Take for future trivia. I have so much money in this game. Please don't send me things. Thank you so much. And I do mean this, chat. Like, I'm just glad that I have, like, the community that I told you, where small community, where you guys could just hang out and we can talk about builds and stuff. That's all I wanted from this. Lord knows I do not make money doing this bullshit. That's why we're doing the whole contest and stuff. Oh, my neck. I'm dying. Incredibly old. All right, Sergio, where's this code? Where's this code you hit me with? I actually managed to, like, be a streamer tonight. Yeah, this thing. I hope there's a version of this with, like, it being open. Like, you know, just unzipped, because it is in the preview. Like, that Shaman data mine. I don't hate it, but, like, room for improvement. Buy gems now, I guess. When's my permanent name change contract for real? They're never doing that. I think they're usually 500. Yeah, probably not. I mean, the Rebel boots had 2 versions. Maybe. But I don't think that Shaman data mined them. Kind of give and dream this 1v1 and just being scary. Let's not bully these poor people who want to play the game. Yeah, genuinely, guys, I'm just glad you're enjoying the content, and that's all I can ask. Just, you know, you guys watch the horse shit. Appreciate the donation. If we ever have... So here's the thing, chat. I've had this idea for, like, a macro collab, like, game-wide Guild Wars 2 party in the back of my head since I started this. And... Oh, Mesmer's over there now. If we ever do something like that, I will take community donations, but thank you. For now, you guys give it to a new player, give it to somebody. Appreciate it. I will let you guys know. I wanted to do a let's crowdfund fixing Bladesworn stream as well, but I don't want to BM Marina that too hard. I did offer to hire a developer for them, but that was a genuine offer. They want me to pay for it, I'll do it. Just want my class fixed, man. And shout out to Fable for this song. Oh my gosh, chat. Festival of the Four Winds is 2 festivals in the future, I believe. Here's a fun piece of trivia. Do you know that many melee skills ranges increase when you look down? Yes, and there's a lot of stuff like that on, I believe, Warrior. There's a lot of stuff like that on Ellie, and the meta for a lot of those field casting skills, like the Jalis Road, used to be where you would, similar to Lightning Orb, where you would actually have to rotate your camera up or down to have those things cast correctly, to like layer correctly. So you would have to, like, for the Lightning Orb, you would have to shoot it into space. For the Jalis Road, you would have to aim your camera down and shoot it into the floor when you were casting it. I don't know which melee skills do that though, Kale. I'd be curious. Always space in my brain for useless Guild Wars 2 build knowledge. That's not a joke. Condi Spellbreaker with that relic's a very interesting one. What I'm more curious of is if the relic that gives you all the boons in the game has a cooldown. I mean, most of them are cones. So I guess most of them increase. I'm withdrawing a little bit. Careful, guys. I should have the secure stomp here. Pretty much all skills that are not a circle around you. So everything on warrior. This game's 12 years old and has a wonderful amount of jank to it. I love it. Shout out to Rifle for being literally the most broken weapon in the game now. Gunsaber's a whole new thing, but I believe you. I don't know if Gunsaber still has a cone, does it? Because they added these weird, awkward projectiles. Maybe old Gunsaber 1 did that. Maybe it still has a cone? I don't know. It's like I was having a discussion with somebody and I legitimately don't know if, like, if the 2 gets reflected, which is just... Because I think the 2 is only a projectile now, right? So yeah, if the 2 gets reflected, it just does 0 damage. It's not like the auto... Like, the auto attack on Gunsaber is literally better. Yeah, I think the auto attack is literally better because it has both. Lord, I hate that they did that. Yeah, it was a pretty good fight. Good job, guys. Here, let me drop some food for you guys so you have this before you go. Hang on. Come back. What'll be good for both of you? Incoming damage. Just generic. Oh, we had a whole trivia episode. Like, there's so many fun things about this game. I love this game's systems too. That's why I'm trying to think of my favorite change, just like for change's sake, and I think it's the double blast finisher on Big Old Bomb, right? Like, that's something that Warrior had back in the day with that trait that never worked correctly, Powerful Synergy. I can't believe I remembered that fast. Gotta scrub that out of my brain one day. Anyway, Powerful Synergy was this cool warrior trait, in theory, that never actually got coded correctly, where it was supposed to double the efficacy or the effectiveness of basically the effects of any time you did any kind of finisher, but it never worked on anything but blast finishers. But since that does work on blast finishers, Big Old Bomb seems to be getting that functionality. Especially with the new smoke field, I'm super interested. That's weird, dude. I believe you. That's funny, though, Kale. Tilt the camera down. Game is truly skill-based. It's like how... we have a dude in the guild who is... Mechanically, he's probably one of, if not the best players in this game. But he never gets on, and he gets on so infrequently because of PvP drama and stuff. But he has showed me some insane things that you can do in this game. Like, there's like a certain... And he has like 0 ping. I don't know if he has like 10 gig fiber or something, or did 4 years ago somehow. But like, the dude has no ping, so he can do these things. And he showed me this button combination of like inputs you can do. And he didn't have it macroed because he would occasionally screw it up, of like button combinations with like about face and the Ranger longbow, so you can literally be running and like shoot behind you with the auto attack or any of the skills that aren't channeled. I believe you. He's probably hosting the game himself. You can like shoot behind you while running without actually about facing ever, because it'll like glitch out your about face inputs. And I was like, you're macroing that. And he's like, no. And he like pulled up a thing that was like tracking his inputs. He's just really mechanically good at the game. There's all kinds of insane crap. Like, again, the skill ceiling for this game, if you want to get absolutely stupid good at it, is another reason why people getting into PvP, like, have so much trouble. Call them, Dream. Ask for a high split in your area. I've been obviously fighting with mine, but hey, I have 500 down, 500 up now. Also, make sure you're getting the intro rate with Spectrum, because if you don't have it, they will give it to you if you just call and complain. Make sure you get... I just did it. Get connected to their customer retention, or their what do they call it now? It's their retention department. It's called their customer solutions department now. But just tell them you want to cancel. They'll say, are you sure? And you'll say, yes, T-Mobile's in my area. I'm not paying you $100 for garbage internet a month. And you'll get connected, and hopefully they'll give you an actual human rate. And I don't feel bad, because Spectrum has been awful in my area for years. I've been a customer for 12 years, and they straight up tell you to do that. Trust me, chat, they build these things into their pricing. You are getting fleeced if you are paying anything but the non-intro rate in your area, if there are actual options. Frequently, there aren't. Capitalism's great. Anyway. Yeah, there's some insane crap you can do in this game. I will say Spectrum has been more consistent than it was when it was Time Warner. And at least they are finally, after 7 years, getting semi-acceptable speeds. Dream, I gotta ask you, what? I mean, at least there's like actual things like T-Mobile Internet and Starlink and other things that are technically options, right? Right? Like, I think their customer service is probably just customer service. I'm always very nice when I call. What router do you have? Because I'm looking into getting a different branded one, because TP-Link is real bad. And it's not because it just might get banned here. Like, TP-Link support is real terrible. I'm looking into a Ubiquiti router setup, but Ubiquiti has like these weird arbitrary like restrictions, because most of their stuff is for like enterprise work, and I don't really need that. I just need like a router to do what it says on the box, like a router setup. So I'm thinking of getting an Asus one. I mean, if you have Spectrum, they might just give you one, and I'm not doing that. Yeah, if anyone has router suggestions as well. No Mystic Coins, but put them in the comments with the amount of trouble I've been having. What I need is one that will cover a decent amount of property, so like a mesh or like access point system. If someone wants to really nerd out about it. Because I plan to run coverage out to my barn eventually. Then I'll stream from there with all the mice. I've used the ultimate CC on Dream. I've asked him an IRL question, so he had to get up from his keyboard. But yeah, I do play on a controller as well. We have had a lot of new people tonight, so thank you for that. Welcome. I do play on a controller. This setup works on a mobile configuration as well. I've done most, if not all, of the content in the game on a controller. So if you need my setup, feel free to grab it from the description. All the files are downloadable. You'll just need XPadder, which is like $10. But my setup works on everything. Acer's router. Acer has a... Okay. No, Spectrum makes you use their modem, but I was just wondering what router you have. Mitruck. Are they in the US? Yeah, I don't really want custom stuff with this firmware, because I'm still like a router idiot. But I'll look into it. I'll write all these down. Thank you. Untamed skills are nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the X skill does. I'm gonna put this in a tab. Hang on. Because the one that I really want, I forget, it's a German company, but it costs like, even without the stupid tariff crap going on, it costs like $1 million to import here. Yeah, the reason I want Asus is they seem like they're a little bit more expensive, but they seem to actually have a customer like service department. Okay, I'll look into this. This looks more enterprise grade though, the Mitruck. Mick. Microtech, so probably German or Swedish, I would guess. Fritzbox, put it in a tab as well. Thank you. Also, thank you for reminding me, Kale. I don't know why that reminded me, but I need to fill out all the animated emotes as well because we've had more subs to the channel. I was going to try to do that before the release. Yeah, if you have suggestions, guys, again, you're catching the VOD, throw them in the description. I know, obviously, a lot of nerds, no offense. I'm a nerd too. Different stuff, though. I don't want to break the bank, but I'm tired of dealing with the shit at this point. I think part of the issue was I bought a good router. Technically, if we're going by what the router says on the box, it should be good for the speeds. But routers are always, like, the speed they say is always a lie. And the one the mesh system I bought is an old TP-Link one, like one of their first mesh systems. And it got, like, literally one update and hasn't gotten updates since. So it probably actually doesn't do the speeds that it said. Oh, fuck, I almost made it. It probably doesn't do the speeds that it actually said, you know? Heal changes, still no heal back like Blunderbuss. They're buffing Greatsword. We already went over it, Golden Magistrate. Do you need heal Lackbender buffs? I know you're like memeing, but like do you need them? Both. I actually seem to be getting better speeds on my wireless connection than my wired connection, which is why it's really weird disparity. And I was having not to turn this into pseudo troubleshoots internet problems, but like I'll tell you what's been happening. Like on my streams, what would happen is when I would go live, and I'm not stupid, I do web design I am stupid, but I do web design, so I'm not completely technologically illiterate. I do web design as a job. Yes, I made it. So what would happen is I would go live, and I don't really care if I don't get perfect 500 down, 500 up. I can live with that as long as I have a humanish speeds, right? I'd like my 500 down, 500 up, but I can live with what it says. I would go live, and whether it was on wired or on wireless, I would be uploading fine, but it would tank my download. Like, it would go almost to zero, and I wouldn't actually be able to play the game. I would still be live, and the streams would still be able to hear me. People can vouch, obviously, but I wouldn't actually be able to play the game. So I would switch over to my wired connection, and thankfully Twitch would catch it, so we wouldn't drop. But for some reason, and I read that can be solved by dealing with a thing called buffer bloat, which essentially a lot of routers aren't built for like symmetrical speeds back in the day. So unless you have something called SQM or smart queue management, it doesn't like let you do that when you're gaming. But I was like, other people stream with this no problem, and I'm sure they haven't dealt with it, so I don't know. I've been troubleshooting internet crash. It's going to be something I deal with till I die, I'm convinced, at this or until I move or something. Literally my entire life has been troubleshooting internet crap, but it's getting better. But yeah, if anyone has any suggestions of stuff I could try, or routers or anything, stuff that's working for you, let me know. Oh, support Tempest and Reaper, Condi Reaper were owning push. Absolutely, Burnt Fish. They were destroying kids. I mean, it sucks and it doesn't because it's getting better, right? It's like the Guild Wars thing, kind of like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it could be better, but it is getting better. And I'm always very nice when I call the company and like try to troubleshoot it because they don't fucking know. They don't know either. They're all in separate departments, so they don't have to deal with this shit. Like, it's broken by design. There are solutions out there. You just gotta find them. It's like the Bladesworn thing. People think Bladesworn sucks. Bladesworn isn't bad. It's just jank as fuck. There's ways to play it. I targeted this wolf, chat. It's okay. It is what it is. I just figured I'd explain for the new people if they could help. Because I am not the God King of existence. No, I actually played a really good, jumped into Warpig's Discord and played a really good push game where we rallied everything. That was a lot of fun. Quite genuinely, that was really, really fun with them. Shout out again to Warpigs if you need a PvP server. This thief is testing his thief tech. There's gonna be a thief over there pretty soon. Alright, we have like one more attack that we get off on it. Yeah, he's gone. He gone. I was like, I got kills from, or loot from something. The thing with Tempest is it's kind of like the, no offense to Tempest, because I'm sure I'm gonna like offend somebody. It's kind of like the low skill Ellie because it has so many tools, you know what I mean? Compared to the other versions at least. Like I was reminded when I tried to comment on Homage's build, Catalyst is kind of like Spellbreaker where it's simple but it's complicated. It has a lot of tools that like on paper it's simple where me drop field, but like a lot of things that make it more complicated where like blasting finish or blasting a field will give you that aura, and then it's all built around different auras and gaining stability in PvP and stuff. Like Catalyst is one I really do want to learn at some point. It interests me a lot, but Tempest, you can just go nuts. Just press your skills and feel like a god. And it's a great Ellie class. Ah, this finally loaded. Fritz Box Pro. This looks like a very not in the US brand, but I will keep it bookmarked. Cool. I actually, once upon a time, I actually played a very decent amount of Condi Weaver because the rotation, at least back in the day, for Sword Focus Condi Weaver is just really enjoyable. It's, for the most part, it's very in and out of like just this, then this, then this, then this. Really, really cool stuff. Be the focus of the enemy team. I mean, you say that, usually the warrior is, but fair enough. Just because everything else is Infinity Invuln, Sergio. Did you ever warm up to, what's it called? Earth Shield? I get if you didn't, but Earth Shield's so good. Especially on Kata. Like, Homage made his video without Earth Shield, and again, not dogging on him because he's probably a better player than me, but like, kicked my ass in our podcast, by the way, chat. Little spoiler for there. He didn't run Earth Shield on his Kata build, and I was like, dude, it gives you 2 auras. What are you doing? We even made me quit Ellie. Fair enough. It's not for everybody. The thing with Weaver that I find very interesting is they quite clearly really wanted to make Unravel the utility skill that like just sets your off Weaver skills to your main hand. They quite clearly wanted to make that just like a baseline class mechanic, but again, because I don't know, they're like allergic to designing UI or hiring UI artists. They just didn't, but they kind of gave it to Weaver on Spear, where like all the weave skills are like basically do that. They auto trigger your offhand weapon, so it's interesting that they compromised and like that's an option. Like again, Ellie has so many fucking options, as it should. Excuse me, as it should, but very, very cool class. Oh, hello. Would you like to fight? Are you a Harbinger? All right. Sorry, dude. I'd give you the even fight, but we're taking a tower, so not happening. Dragon Trigger's living at home again. I don't get to pull out Dragon Trigger, chat. That's for classes with buttons like Revenant that work. Like, look at that. That's every boon in the game, and that's going to be on everything in Zergs pretty soon. So, like, in terms of overpowered crap, unless it has a 3-minute, even if it has a 3-minute cooldown, there's no way everything in Zergs doesn't run that relic, right? That gives you every boon in the game. There's just no way. Like, they have to. You're just going to get that crap by existing in a Zerg. What do you have to do? Like, use an elite skill, use a healing skill, combo a finisher, and, like, I don't know, like, scratch your nose or something? Like, it's just 4 things. They're not hard. Warrior can do that shit, I say now. Like, that relic is fucking wild to me. But I do like when things are insane in the game. Just not if they stay. Selly gear for 3 years. But still, like, I'm excited, man. There's so many relics. I wish they kind of could have staggered these out a little bit more, honestly. Like, the relics for this release, like, 3 or 4 out of the 6 of them look like they'll work really well for my class, let alone other things in the game. And I kind of wish I could have had the Bladesworn relic before this patch, you know? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Very excited. I am terrified also of the, I mean, maybe, yeah. They don't want to nerf Elixir of Ambition, so they gave it to everybody. I mean, that is a nerf to Elixir of Ambition, kinda. It's like when they give Bull's Charge to Rangers, so Gio, that's how I feel, right on the B. Where it's like, oh, you just kind of get a diet version of my class identity. That doesn't feel great. But, you know, this is what it is. Can't be mad about stuff. The Might Relic is the one that I'm scared of. Do you know that it's 210? Like, I think they said 10% on the stream, Kale. But that's my question. Is it percentage like that scales with might, or is it just 10, or is it going to be 10 for like PvP and 5 for World vs. World? Like, yeah, 210 precision is psychotic for things like Ellie, NG, and Warrior are the ones that come to mind. I thought his exact words were 10% or something, or whatever it is, but I know they did say 10%, so I'd believe you. But like Ellie, NG, and Warrior, like, that already stack might, like, ballistically, especially with the change of the Pyromancers, whatever it is, Puissance. Like, that relic scares me. It's like what the Maban relic was supposed to be, basically. Yeah, I'm scared of that one. Out? Oh, fine. Dragon triggers look like they do damage. Run away from the Zerg. No reveal relic still, tragically, which I really wanted. Well, at least the tower flips will get credit for it. Really wanted a reveal relic, not getting one. Oh well. I wonder what, so here's, I guess we can close it out with this tonight, chat, because Pseudo needs to go eat burritos at some point. There we go. Everyone's speculating, you know, new specialization, new weapon, class stuff. What do you think equipment-wise we're going to get with the new expansion? Because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but with Soto, we just didn't... When were relics? Relics were Soto, right? All of it? Relics were all of it. What are we going to get equipment-wise for the new expansion? Yeah, the not running assassin stats to crit cap thing is going to be huge for my builds, I'll tell you what. The more importantly, the not running a stupid stacking precision sigil, which is mathematically still the best stacking sigil, but like being able to actually crit on all of my dragging triggers and being that being able to run a Bloodluster Cruelty sigils on my offhand for Bladesworn is going to be huge. I'll have to give up Rivers, though, which Rivers is still good, so we'll see if that actually happens. But Lush Forest is also getting a weird buff. Yeah, see, Kale, you get it. Exactly what you're describing, like, I live in the build editor, and I think about exactly what you're writing. Like, these are all thoughts that I've had, and I'm so excited for this patch. Like, legitimately, I think I'm more excited for the relics. I mean, I'm biased as fuck, but, like, I'm more excited for the relics. Because these ones are, like, interesting without being, like just straight overpowered like Rivers was. Any set you want? Isn't so? What would you want instead? So like diviners, but with expertise. Coolster. Expertise is tricky because it enables things like power a mob druid, but I get you. There are things like Tempest runes in the game. Careful, Sergio. I'm trying to get out of combat so I can switch to my real weapon here. We're about to get run the F over. I have my dream stats right, but I still really want, what's it called? 2-stat combinations in the game. I think that'd be really interesting. I want there was I think it was Datamined or something. There was supposed to be, back before Diviners was Diviner, and Diviners is arguably more overpowered than this. There was going to be Power Precision main, Ferocity Concentration minor, and they decided that one was like too overpowered. Because again, spoilers chat, the best stat in the game is Precision, period. Even though it's mathematically takes more precision points than I think anything else to do 1% of whatever it is. Like, precision is so overpowered in this game. Kill all these frogs, Bob would be sad. My friend and officer. Shout out to Bob. I know he listens to these in his spare time. They're definitely running out of design space for weapons, especially on things like Warrior. I mean, just look at even Mesmer, right? Like, sword is already in the game, and yet they were just like, hey, spear, fuck it, right? Let's just do everything that sword main hand and sword offhand on Mesmer do, except let's throw that on spear and make it AoE and good. But absolutely, Morgan. 100%. They are running out of design space for weapons. That's why I think, if anything, they're going to do a specialization without... So, ain't it... This is me coping a little bit, but ain't it does this funky thing where they really like things to be even. Whether it's the number of tabs... Did he log out? He logged out. Interesting. I was like, Willbenders don't have stealth. Yes, he did. So unless he went into stealth and he killed himself in stealth because I got loot for that. So Ain't does this funky thing, right, chat? Where there's probably going to be a 10th tab because it's 10 in the equipment tab and the build tabs, right? If you look here, and this is how I get to sleep at night. There's one more spot. There's one more spot in this square, right here. That's why I think they're going to do new specialization with no weapon tied to it. I mean, they have the tech for it, Morgan. If they were ever gonna... I brought this up a lot, where if they were ever gonna redo one thing for Warrior, where they, like, nerf it and then, like, do a quality of life thing, I would really like them to do the swappable weapon skills thing so that before combat you could choose an offensive or a defensive version of all of your different warrior skills, because that would sort of make it feel like the weapons master and give it some identity again, like they did with, you know, Hammer on Not Untamed. I think that'd be great, but I have a feeling that's kind of a ranger privilege and one they probably regret doing, because it's kind of a balance thing. Existing weapons use a different way. No other yeah, obviously after you crit cap. I've also been trying to figure out what was it? No, it's an interesting idea, disparity. I don't hate that. You could also have a trait kind of like the weird thing with the Necro transfusion trait. I guess this slides in nicely to this discussion is Necro. I brought this up a lot in the comments. It's extremely weird that Necromancer is now effectively going to have 2 staff traits. Granted, one is in, I think, Soul Reaping and going to be offensive. And then you have Transfusion that's a Grandmaster and going to be defensive, which I don't love, but it's an interesting design idea for Guild Wars 2. I think it's accidental, but I think it's interesting nonetheless. And I don't know how healthy it is, but we'll see. So, Kale, I've been on this quest, right? Because mathematically, arms being that... Here's some big math number nerd talk for you, build-wise, chat. If you didn't know, 15 points of ferocity equals 1 point of crit damage in this game. That means that even with all of the other steroid buffs that it gives you, mathematically, strength should give you about a... Strength and arms should be at the very least roughly equivalent in the power level they give you in PvE, and let alone PvP, where ferocity is, or arms is supposed to give you something stupid. Like it's something idiotic, like 750 ferocity or something fully stacked. I've been trying to figure out why arms sucks. Like, no matter how much they buff it, with ferocity buffs, it just sucks. And I asked Barry this, and he asked around a bunch of people that he knows who have written guides and stuff. And it seems to... I think he said the formula for optimizing ferocity is, like, power... Like, you want to start building ferocity when your power hits 2,250, right? Whether that's through might, or whether that's through, you know, just raw stats or whatever. Basically, you want to start building 1 point of ferocity for every point of power that you have once you hit that cap. Oh, look, there's a war going on over here. Yeah, exactly what you said. And until dragon stats, you didn't really have a way to just build more ferocity anyway. But I still really want to find out why that is. So I don't know, like if there's a post on it somewhere, someone can link me or like just tell me where it was. Like I've been trying to find that forever and I can't, because I'm really interested, because no matter what I do, I can't make arms not suck nuts. And it sucks nuts, and it shouldn't. Yeah, assuming you don't have like conversion traits and stuff. What did you write about precision? Because I'm curious about that as well. Hang on. Sorry, I'm missing chat. I need one of those vertical monitors so I can put chat on it and like keep you guys forever in my heart and my brain. That sounds healthy. Precision minus. No other conversions running precision becomes better than power after you reach. I don't know. Utility-wise, I just feel like, I mean, you're probably right, but I feel like precision is just always better than power. But you're probably right about that. Like, what is it, 2905? Yeah. I don't know. This is the kind of high-level nerd talk with Guild Wars 2, like exactly why this channel exists, so thank you for that. I'm glad you're chilling and enjoying. Yeah, I don't know. On Warrior, it always feels like it's better to max power or precision for me first, but you're probably right about that. Monk type hand-to-hand combat entire new class. They absolutely could. So if you, again, free plug for my like friends and bros and stuff. If you haven't, no, that's fair. It's good to have easy explanations. That fits into my brain nicely. Thank you for that. Easiest explanation is because you have a head start on ferocity because you get 150 by default. I was just wondering why it was that number specifically more, but I get you. So free plug for him if you haven't subscribed to him. He's a great entertainer and just seems like be a very good human. Captain Crabface on YouTube. I don't always agree with him, as no one should, but like he has a hands down favorite video that he's done is when he's a, I forget the word for it, he's a huge like nerd when it comes to different types of weapons that have existed in the like history of humans, because we've made some stupid shit like gun sabers. People have been trying to put like guns on swords forever. Go watch his value as an entertainer is astonishing. But go watch his video where he just goes through like all of the new types of weapons they could add to the game, like chakrams and foci and you know, all these other cool things and how they could be adapted to like different classes. Because like giving warriors like knuckle dusters that cash out bleeding stacks and a power spike for chakrams, A tier. Giving rangers like a bladed frisbee that they could throw and have the pet retrieve, A tier. Like all of his ideas in that video are so fucking good. Like, and that's why I think that I'm really happy that ANET seems to be actually watching, whether, you know, even if it's not me, just like smaller creators more and taking feedback on stuff is just really cool. Because hopefully they see stuff like that and like, yeah, maybe we get infinite development budget because our new expansion pops off and we put, you know, lantern shields into the game. Stuff like that. Fighting a virtuoso, chat, so I have to eat through his first 8 health bars in order to be able to do damage to him. Yep, there's one of them right now. All of his shit's unblockable. Like, you gonna come back or what? The amount of it really is like a fighting game where you take turns blocking and shit. There's a lot of invis for Vert. Say that right now. There's his third invuln. You like that dragon trigger tracking where I hit the top of that tree, chat? Oh, he's desynced now. Whatever. I tried, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't call the Zerg, but I'm still gonna kill you. Fair enough. I'm gonna slash cry at him. I was enjoying that. I'm sorry. Strength also striked it. Yeah, so I do know that, what is it? In this game in general, like, damage modifiers are just, like, percentage damage modifiers are just, like, better than every other form of, like, scaling damage. Because it's, like, the way I understand it is, ferocity is basically one lump sum that's all additive, and then you multiply it to the base, but multipliers are just multiplicative, so, yeah, right. Right, exactly. That makes sense. Like one for 10 damage on paper, but 66. Yeah, that sounds right. Is that assuming crit cap, Kale? I would assume. Welcome back. Hopefully your lunch was fantastic, Emperor. I don't want to be just fucked, chat. They got me. But if you... Yeah, all good. Nah, we ambushed him, he ambushed me, it's all fine. Fish and chips, hell yeah. I'm gonna go make burritos after this. You try not getting got. I have tried that, it's called playing Mesmer. Regardless of chance, interesting, okay. I guess it doesn't matter if you have 100 or 4. Don't you start at like 4% crit chance as well? Yep. Well, I know why like strength is better in PvE, but like mathematically they should be equal is what I'm saying. Discounting literally everything else. I think strength is technically like 51 because it gives you 10 from the might modifier and then 10 from assuming 100% uptime on physical skills. I suppose you also get the greatsword trait. Okay, it's a little bit more because what's just what is it? Just the arms signet trait should give you like fuck. Now we're doing math, chat. Everybody's gonna unsubscribe. 500 divided by 15, 33, and then I know arms gives you around 50 divided by 15. Strength is more. All right, plus 33. Yeah, arms gives you almost exactly. Yeah, signet is 500, and then there's 250 sort of from the stupid burst thing that's actually useless. The big thing is that strength also gives you the what's it called, greatsword or ferocity power into ferocity trait, which is just better than the greatsword trait these days. Dude, fucking renewed isn't. It's called Build Wars 2. It's not called Pseudo Does Nothing. I'm gonna kill this wolf and let this guy res. Hang on. I'm trying to kill the wolf. I'm sorry. Here. Res. I tried. Fuck. Well, I tried, dog. I have proof. Stupid gun saber shots that I can't aim killed you. Oh man, I'm thinking of changing the name of the channel to just Pseudo Does Stuff because I want to do more videos of just like random crap, but it is a Guild Wars channel. I'm just glad people are enjoying it though. Chill place to. So Homage talked about this a little bit on our podcast. Is he started making videos for the same reason I really started streaming? Is no offense to anybody else, but like no one was making the content that he really wanted to watch for Guild Wars 2, which is like chill PvP content. And for me, it's like nerd building numbers, you know, systems knowledge stuff. And I've always been able to talk forever about nothing. It served me well when I was bartending for 2.5 years, so I was like, I can do the stream thing. I'm not interesting, I don't have a personality, but Lord, I can make up for it with systems knowledge. And it worked out. Chill little community. Again, shout out to some of our earliest viewers who come back in from time to time. Daikaru and Kashima and everybody else who was like one of our OGs. Daikaru got to watch me play Bladesborne back when I didn't hate playing it. Daring Dragon was in the game. I don't hate playing it though. Oh my god, chat. All right, it's like super late. Wednesday, we'll be back for more nonsense. Hopefully some... Ooh, do you want to fight? Is this the guy? No, it's Dream. More nonsense, more Guild Wars, maybe some new release news. My hair routine. I like wash it occasionally. It's pretty good. Nexus hair products. So here's the secret to good hair products, chat. I learned this from an actual salon owner. Don't buy entry-level stuff like Pantene, because Pantene is shit. Buy like the stuff they sell at salons, or like one step up, or better yet, find out what they sell at salons and then order it yourself, because you will end up using way less of it and your hair will end up looking way better and being healthier. So I use a thing called Nexus shampoo. Yeah, because I'm super metrosexual and actually kind of like how I look. But yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to read this last note. Sorry, Kale, I don't want to cut you off if you're typing more. Full Berserker Warrior. If you do put it in the comments, I will read it, but I have to eat at some point. Full Berserker Warrior grade to 4-2, runs by the crit damage only, so boosting it to 30 only, 15, 18 crit. Right. No, it makes sense. That's crazy. I'm gonna like copy this whole chat and reread it once I get some food. But yeah, I'm Suda. This is Build Wars 2. This is Dream. This is Sora. Come back on Wednesday at 9 for more of this nonsense. Hopefully we get a trailer before then. If we do, I will try to cut it into a short and throw it on the channel. Again, credit to ArenaNet. And thank you for joining. It's been a lot of fun. I've been super happy to like hang out with you guys and just talk about nonsense all night as we do. And the patch looks dope. Go give them feedback or not. And cheers. I'll see you guys in Tyria. Have a wonderful night. Peace.
Your life when I think I go, and hide your body somewhere